Bump, yesterday you joked, I hope everyone has fun for preseason week 1. That's kind of what happened. No one ended up winning this one. The Seahawks and Raiders tie it in the preseason. Thank God there's no overtime. I almost said extra innings. We're going to get to the Mariners in a minute. Thank God there's no overtime in the preseason. For that matter, I kind of think there should be no punting. I think that you should have to go for it every single time you get a fourth down in the preseason. Let's wrap this thing up. You know what I mean? Like, keep it moving. Be a little exciting.
You got to go for it at least one time.
Just
How's
one
that?
time.
Because you still got to see your punt returner, see what they can do. We saw Horton back there getting jiggy with it. That was fun to watch. But no overtimes. You know why? Because I got home at 1:30. So if there were overtimes, I would have been home at 2:30 or something like that.
I can tell you got home at 1:30 because, and Curtis saw this, when you walked into the office today, you still had sunglasses on. You did not take your sunglasses off. And here's my thing.
Message sent.
Here's what really grinds my gears. It's not like you walk in from outside and then you're immediately in the sports pit. You have to walk into this like secure lobby, then use your key card to walk into the main lobby, then walk all the way down a hallway, then you got to turn into the sports pit.
They just open it for me.
Oh,
when I show up.
Wow, diva behavior. More diva behavior here. This is wild.
Isaiah takes care of me. He sees me pull up because I got you bumped.
Does he really?
Sometimes, yeah.
Are you serious?
Sometimes I'll reach for my key card and then the
if you're
pad will just turn green.
listening right now, why does no one open the door for me?
Because you don't have conversations with Isaiah like I do.
Yes,
I sit there,
do.
I get to know him,
I say
ask
hello
about
to
his
Isaiah
weekend.
every single morning.
Oh, I say more than hello.
I say hi, what's up, Isaiah? Oh my God, I'm so hurt. And I know that there's a TV right now in the lobby that Isaiah can see. I'm gonna. You know why?
It's every once in a while. It's not often. It's not often.
There's a lot to like from this one. I know that the final score doesn't really matter, but I really loved what we saw, in particular from the run game. Let's start there. I wanted this open to be, because we're going to talk about the things that caught our eye coming up at noon. So 2 hours before we get to that, I wanted just kind of like an overarching picture of it. But I couldn't narrow it down. I couldn't decide what I wanted to talk about. So initially I had planned it to be about like the Seahawks have a youth movement. Like the young players we were excited to see all looked really solid. However, the run game especially, I just felt really, really good about.
Yeah, I did too. It was nice to see Helani kind of set the tone out there, get the run game going. But it was more about how Kubiak called the game. Brian Walters and I joked about this, who we'll have on at 1 o'clock today. The first play of the game was a pass. Right, we're talking all about the run. And the first play of the game was a pass, so we laughed about that. But after that, it was established. Ended up running the ball, 32 times for about $172, I believe. Let me pull up the box score real quick. 32 carries for $170 and 2 touchdowns. But it was the commitment to the run, the way they ran the football, the way they used the fullback to help influence linebackers. They did exactly what we thought they were going to do. You can look at the number of carries and just fall in love with that. 32 times. I understand that. They threw the ball 32 times as well. Oh, my God, 50-50. It ain't always going to end up that way. The run is there to kind of throw the jab, and that's going to be their first swing, I guess, to set everything up. And that's exactly what it did. It set up the play action. It set up the fullback getting into the pass game as well. It was just a nice, controlled game. It felt controlled, and I appreciate that. It's not always going to be that way because there are going to be times where teams are going to load the box and force you to throw the football. You got to be stubborn running it sometimes. But I saw exactly what I needed to see from the offense. It gave me an idea of what it can look like when it gets real out there.
Mike McDonald talked about how he evaluates his team during the preseason.
As a coaching staff, there's kind of just piece it in a bunch of different things. I mean, how we start the game. We're going to go back and look at our warm up and see how that went. We're going to go evaluate our run defense. We're going to evaluate our third down defense on both sides of the ball. We're going to look at our punt, field goal protection, give them extra point block. So you're kind of looking at everything, evaluating it. You're looking at situationally, and then as a whole, how we start games, how we close games is going to be really important. And ultimately, this is like a personnel evaluation, so you're going to be watching all the guys that played and evaluating as well.
Let's talk about how we actually evaluate the preseason. I tend to just look for the simplest types of things. I think that we naturally want to be film buffs and comb through and find everything we possibly can about how Mike McDonald's calling defensive plays, about what Clint Kubiak's offense looks like. But I think that it is going to be limited still. And you obviously are going to have quite a few starters not playing. We'll see what week 2 looks like. But certainly in week 1, you didn't. So instead, I just look for consistency and is their plan and practice translating to the games? And I think that's the 2 most encouraging things I saw. The players that look good in practice look good in the game. The things that they're trying to do in practice, like establishing the run, they were able to do in this game. That sounds so simple, and I think sometimes we try to overcomplicate analysis. That's good. That's a win from a preseason.
Yeah, I'll complicate the heck out of it, though, because I love watching film. I love breaking it all down, but you're correct. During the preseason, I'm looking more at the attempt. What are they attempting to do schematically, and then are the players able to execute it? I thought Zabel looked pretty good when he was out there. I was surprised to see Abe Lucas out there as long as he was out there, but then it makes sense. He's been banged up. He's got to feel and reestablish himself and get that confidence that his knee and his body is going to hold up. That was fun to watch. Love seeing the tight ends get active in the pass game and in the run game. It was verification that there is going to be a commitment to the run offensively. And I think that was important. It was verification that play action is going to be big in this game. It was verification that everyone out there who is a skill guy who can touch the football will touch the football. Fullback had a reception. Running back had a reception or multiple receptions. The wideouts, the tight ends. It was someone described the offense as democratic. I forgot who we were talking to. Bob described it as democratic, and that's exactly what we saw. We saw the ball being distributed properly everywhere, and I think that was important. And we got to see Milroe. And big ups to Drew Lock, man. That first drive, he goes down there, tosses an interception, bounces back, goes down there, scores a touchdown, 12 of 22, 147 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Also got to see Milroe as well. Broke off a 27-yard gain, something I wanted to see using his feet, and also was decent throwing the football as well. It made me excited. G. Scott was just in here, and he was hyped about this squad, right? G. Scott got a little bit more energy than I do, and I shared the excitement, but I just do it a bit different than my man G. But yeah, I am excited about this team and the possibilities. You still have to grow off of this. There were mistakes out there, of course. No football game is perfect, and yeah, the offense did showed me what I needed to see to be confident going into this next season and hopefully our next game and hopefully into the regular season.
I want to talk about 2 things you mentioned as part of your response. 1, Clint Kubiak. 2, Jalen Milroe. First, Mike McDonald talking about the communication with Kubiak during the game.
Well, I think that's where Clint's leaning right now. I don't really have a preference either way. It's whatever he prefers. So, we'll kind of re-huddle here the next few days to see if he wants to try to give it a go upstairs or see what that feels like. So it's still kind of a work in progress. But I think, just as another play caller likes being on the field, you get a good feel for the game and personnel substitutions and situations, and then it's obviously awesome to the communication piece for guys when they're on and off the field is great. It's sometimes it's tough. Like today, AD was calling it, so I'm trying to talk to him to talk to the linebackers, and so you want to be direct to the players as much as you can.
We'll focus on the first part of that. At the end, he talks about Ad and Dirty and kind of his communication with him on the defensive side of things. Let's talk about Clint Kubiak. He talked about the communication, still working on refining, like how do we want to communicate with each other during games? Where do I want to overstep or maybe try to, keep Clint autonomous and, how am I figuring that out? Which is an interesting thing to talk about. But I'm also interested in what you saw from Clint Kubiak, the play caller.
As far as his style or his
just maybe
personality?
some things like again, we're so limited in what we saw so far, but did you like what you saw?
That's
the
thing.
Feel excited about it?
I don't think we were limited. He showed a lot more than what people, I guess, could see if you're looking at it just for the first time.
Well, and I should say limited in that we aren't seeing what it looks like with a lot of the starters.
Yeah.
So you aren't seeing his plan for Sam and Cooper.
No, I don't think there is a plan for Sam and Cooper. I think he calls plays according to what the defense is giving him. I think last year is where you kind of got in trouble when you're trying to force the ball to DK. You're trying to get the ball to JSN. Towards it looks like Kubiak is just going to call plays according to what the defense is giving him. And in that manner, everybody's going to get the football. There will be times where, you got a matchup and you're going to attack a matchup. But I think that this offense is predicated on who's open according to what the defense is giving.
Right. I get what you're saying, though. You don't want to be too matchup dependent the way you were last year.
Last year was matchup dependent all day.
Well, it was kind of a college vibe.
Yeah, exactly. This seems like a more sophisticated type of approach, but you're right. We haven't even seen this offense yet with JSN, with MVS out there, with Cooper Kupp, with Ken Walker, with Zach Charbonnet. But it makes me believe that everybody's going to touch the football, and that's great. And I was interested to see him down on the football field because I feel like, at least for me, when I call plays, I love being up top. I can see what the box is doing. I can see what the secondary is doing. So with him being down on the field, it tells me a couple things. He wants direct communication with his quarterback, which I think is important. You can talk to a quarterback over the headset, but you still don't get the emotion and the feel out of your quarterback when you're looking him in his eye and you're down on the football field and you feel the football game. So also that tells me he trusts the guys upstairs. He has a good group of coaches that are going to relay him information. And this is preseason. It's not like they are completely trying to out scheme and try to win this ball game. They're just matching personnel and going out there and trying to put their guys in the best position. But I love this demeanor. I like this play calling. I think there's some variety in 4-down territory. I'm going to give you a bit more about what I saw in his play calling, but it felt like there was a flow and a purpose. Like every play was connected. The formations were connected. The spacing was on point. I love the way they had more condensed formations. It allows the receivers to get wide releases, expand the defense, and create more passing lanes. It was fun to watch, even into the fourth quarter, man. I know a lot of people stopped watching once the guy from Wichita State gets out there that you don't know, but it was still fun for me to watch to try to understand what he's trying to do. We spent a lot on the offense. The defense was on point too. I know they scored 23 points. A lot of the points happened in the second half where you get a double move on a corner who's probably not going to make the ball team. But I love how Mike McDonald was doing some things early, and then as the 2s, 3s, and 4s got in there, he kind of just made it nice and plain and vanilla and allowed these guys to make some plays. Defense looked good at times as well.
Also, I mentioned that like players who have looked solid in practice were able to translate that into a preseason game, and that's always a plus, and Josh Jobe is one of those. He did have a penalty, like had a couple moments. I mean, it's preseason, but obviously a few more big moments. He's looked really solid. I know you've talked about him a bit. I mentioned the second point I wanted to get to was Milroe. The 425 says Milroe did not look very good at all against third and fourth stringers. What the heck, man? Didn't even look fast.
I strongly disagree with that.
Why?
I disagree. He was 6 for 10 and had a couple design runs. One was for 27 yards. You don't break off a 27-yard gain in the NFL and not have a little burst to you. He looked like a guy who was developing. I don't know what you expected out of Milroe, and I think we talked about it yesterday. Like, what are your expectations? I expect him to look like a guy who's trying to figure some things out. There are some things that I wanted to see from him. I wanted to see him look clean with his exchange from the center. I wanted him to exaggerate the play action, which I thought I saw. I wanted him to make quick decisions. His first throw was an out, and he read the flat defender. He was out leveraged, so he throws it to the out route. There was another throw he had where a guy was sitting in the zone. He made that throw. There were a couple throws that he missed. There was a run that he had. He looked like a guy who had his first start in the NFL, not first start, but first kind of experience in the NFL, who is on a developmental program. So if you wanted him to come out and just tear it up, I think that your expectations were a bit too high. I don't think he looked like the starter tomorrow. He wasn't on some Russell Wilson type stuff to where he's going to be the guy. No, I think we went into this game knowing that he's going to have to develop. So I was okay with what I saw for his first game.
A couple other young guys looked really, really good. Torrey Horton being one of them. Yesterday, we were asking ourselves and listeners, who's one person you hope you're talking about on Friday? I am so glad that we're talking about Torrey Horton, and I can't believe we waited so long to get to just talking about him. You can see that he has looked really, really great in practice. We've been wondering aloud, is he your number 3 guy? Like, how much is he challenging MVS for that spot? You can tell early they were trying to target him. Granted, some of that's familiarity. Drew Lock's starting this game. He's working with the 2s. He's got some practice in, some practice time in with Horton. But we also know that there was a lot of praise about Horton heading into this season. When we had Rob Staten on, I went back and listened to the interview from May. We had Rob Staten on a few months ago, and we asked him, hey, who's the steal? Who's the value pick in this draft? And he said, oh, it's Horton. Horton had an injury, and obviously being at Colorado State, like just like a background that probably kept him from being in the echelon of receivers that were from those Big Ten schools, from powerhouse offenses, maybe in the SEC or whatever. And he's like, he wins in so many ways. He was so great in that offense and kept them afloat despite them not having great quarterback play. And he had Torrey Horton as like his steal of the draft. So there had been plenty of buzz, obviously, heading into camp, heading into this game. It's always cool when someone pays it off.
I'm not going to lie. When I was watching film on Torrey Horton, I saw potential, but I wasn't wowed like the way the Seahawks scout department probably was. So I think I probably got this one wrong. I thought he'd be a good receiver, but I didn't expect him to hit the ground running the way that he has. And what impressed me the most about Horton was just his twitch when he got the football. You know, there are a lot of guys, especially I remember my first reception in the NFL. It was like you caught the football and it felt like you had 50 helmets staring at you right now, collapsing on you. Like it happened so fast. And with him, I didn't feel that. I didn't see that. He caught the football and got a field real quickly. The first time he touched the football, I believe, was in a punt return, and he spin moves, makes another guy miss. And when you see football players attacking defenses with the ball in their hands that way, that lets you know they just feel comfy out there. Like the game isn't too fast for them. And yes, you are playing against 2s and 3s at this point, but you want to look like that against 2s and 3s. And then there's his route running. I mean, he was tight at the top of his route. Like that's where you create the most separation, at the top of your route, snapping your hips down, accelerating away from the defender. I saw that as well. I think it's going to be a real battle for that number 3 spot. I still think MVS gets the nod initially, and I think that's the way you should approach that situation because MVS is proven. But again, you bring Horton along, sprinkle him in. I'm starting to get really excited about this receiver room.
I know you have more to say about what you saw on offense and defense. We're going to get to it at 11:15 with 4 Down Territory. Our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Right now, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, the Mariners walked it off against the White Sox yesterday thanks to Dom Canzone.
Here's the stretch and the next offer on the way. Swinging a ground ball into right field for a base hit. Here comes Suarez rounding third. The throw to the plate by Taylor, the slide, the tag, safe at home. Suarez, a walk-off base hit for Dom Canzone. The Mariners win it 4-3, a walk-off single for Canzone. He's being mobbed out there at first base for the Mariners, their second walk-off win on this homestand. J.P. Crawford, a walk-off 2-run home run on Friday against Texas. And the Mariners win it in 11 this afternoon.
What's the real headline?
What if this finale was the intended outcome of signing Josh Rojas? You know?
The long play.
That's what I'm saying. What if Justin and Jerry have kind of like the long play here, and it all came down to that Masterboni bunt?
Well, it was Canzone with the walk-off hit, too, who was part of that Rojas trade.
I'm just saying, I think what we didn't realize the 5D chess that was happening with this series
Guys,
finale.
we just got to wait for Rojas to join the worst team in the American League.
Yeah.
And then it'll come back
It's
around.
like in my mind is a fake memory of us asking Justin Hollander about Josh Rojas, and it's just a twinkle in his eye where he goes, "You'll see. You'll all see."
This was interesting. I felt like this was going to be a tough game anyway. You know, it's hard to sweep ball teams. I don't care who you're playing against. They got pros over there as well. And the White Sox have been playing decent since the All-Star break. I believe they're hovering around 500.
They are not the worst version of the White Sox we've seen.
They're not the worst version, exactly. And they're still a ball club. You know who gets lucky often? Good teams. Good teams get lucky. And sometimes you have to be lucky. And that's what happened here. But I will take it. And I like what Canzone said, right? It wasn't the greatest hit. He didn't just tattoo that thing, but he said this feels just as good as all the other ones, even better because it's a walk-off. So big ups to Canzone getting his first walk-off of his career, and a sweep is in full effect. What are we, a game and a half behind now, Curtis?
Game and a half.
Game and a half, baby. Let's go.
You've mentioned how the White Sox aren't like the worst version of a baseball team we've seen. The Rockies might be, though. This isn't actually a headline rewrite, but something we were talking about a little bit yesterday. I think the Blue Jays are going on to play your Dodgers here for a series coming up, but they're just heading out of a series against Colorado. Did you see that the Blue Jays totaled 45 runs across that series?
I did not see that.
63 hits allowed.
Those are the most hits by a team ever in a
Ever.
3-game series.
63 hits.
20-1, 10-4. We're talking Rockies, right?
Yeah, against the Rockies.
Oh, 15-1. Goodness
Isn't that crazy?
gracious.
The series finale, I think, was like 20-1. Imagine being a Blue Jays player. I need to look at the box score, but imagine being a Blue Jays player in any one of those games that goes like 0 for 4. I'd be like, I can't show my face.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Micah Parsons missed Cowboys practice on Thursday for the first time since issuing his trade request. What's the real headline?
This is bad news in every world except for Jerry's, where any news is great news.
We still doing this. And we're going to continue to do it.
Yep.
Can't stop, won't stop. I think Michael Parsons, this was the next move, right? You request your trade, you're still showing up. Now it's like, no, I'm going to sit down. Now you throw a tantrum. You're the kid in the sandbox throwing sand because someone hopped on the little merry-go-round thing before you could get on, right? You throw your tantrum.
Did you say miracle round?
Merry-go-round. Merry-go-round. Get off my head.
Okay.
Get off my head.
a miracle round.
Merry-go-round. Gosh, dang it.
We're fresh off, I went to get a bottle of Cabernet, so.
Hey, you work 14 hours, Go to sleep at 2:30, 3 o'clock.
That's why Isaiah has to open the door for you.
And bring
when
your
you come
butt
in
over here with them
sunglasses.
shades on, man.
Miracle
Merry-go-round.
round.
I don't think I said miracle round.
We're
man.
on the
Matt,
miracle round of life.
Go ahead and cut that, man. Let me hear what I really said, man.
Matt's gonna find it. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. We just love you so much.
Nah. You jacked up my
saying,
thoughts now.
Do you think that this is Micah throwing a tantrum or
Yeah,
Jerry?
Micah.
No.
Yeah, but it's a warranted tantrum. You're supposed to throw your
Okay, yeah.
tantrum. You're not getting paid. There's no communication with your agent. Yeah, you throw your tantrum. This one is warranted.
I was listening to the MMQB podcast with Albert Breer, and he was saying something that Bill Simmons had already said. So Bill Simmons had already said, I think that this is just Jerry promoting this upcoming Cowboys series that's going to be dropping on Curtis Netflix, right? And
That's right.
Albert Breer bump on this podcast that just came out earlier this week is like, look, I try not to go full conspiracy theory. I usually think that that's up to hot take artists on radio shows. Hi. But he was like, I unfortunately am now pretty convinced that this is just kind of Jerry wanting to get news generated. Like, this is all just a stunt, not on Micah's part, but this is just a thing that he's keeping going when he doesn't have to. And he'll eventually sign this guy. Micah's not going anywhere. Or they'll franchise tag him.
Yeah, I mean, worst case, he gets franchise tag. He gets some guaranteed money, but it's about security, right? And that's what Micah Parsons wants, and that's what he deserves. And if it is a conspiracy theory and this is what he's doing to get more pub, then okay, Jerry, but what is it worth? Is it worth sacrificing your relationship with one of the best in the game? I don't think so, but Jerry's a billionaire and I'm not. Miracle round.
It's close. Can I hear it one more time?
Miracle round. Yeah, merry-go-round.
Okay.
All right, man. Get off my head.
This is Laurel and Yanny.
Get off my head, man.
Yeah, do you hear miracle round or merry-go-round?
Merry-go-round. Yeah. You know what it is?
I hear miracle round.
You know
I
what
see
it is?
a
You know
blue
what
and
it
black
is?
dress.
You know what it is? It's culture, okay? You guys talk the way you talk.
Wow.
And I talk the way I talk.
Wow.
Okay? It's culture. It's okay. It's a blended show. It's a blended show.
It is a very, I do think we're probably the most diverse sports show, maybe even in the country.
In the world, Craig.
In the world, Craig.
Merry-go-round.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, Anthony Richardson left Indy's preseason opener with a dislocated finger. He is not expected to miss any time, though. What's the real headline?
This is just what a quarterback with accuracy issue needs. A messed up finger on his throwing hand.
He is. It's just hard out there for Anthony Richardson.
Really?
He just can't get right. He cannot get right. I feel bad for the young man. We talk about Milroe being probably the most physically gifted athlete, one of them, especially at the quarterback position in the NFL. I think Anthony Richardson is one of those guys too, but we talk about teams being unlucky or lucky. He's just unlucky, man. I feel for this dude. I'm sure I've heard great things coming out of the Colts camp. Like, he's working hard. He's doing everything he needs to do, but luck is just not on this guy's side. And like I said before, Danny Dimes will be the starter for this team, and Anthony Richardson will be the backup.
Someone said, I heard merry-go-round. Someone else said, I heard swing set.
Swing set.
All right. We, of course, had to start with just a ton of takeaways that we had early coming out of the Seahawks preseason game, but we were treated to 2 Seattle games yesterday, including, obviously, the Mariners walking off the White Sox and extras. Our takeaways coming up next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, like, if I could get an interception, man.
How many did you have in your career?
3.
How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands.
Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Contractors and heavy equipment operators, get ready. The James D. Murphy Auction Company presents one of the biggest heavy equipment auctions of the summer. On the auction block, we've got 13 excavators, including a 2018 Komatsu PC-238 USLC-11, a 2015 Komatsu PC-138, and a CAT 308 mini excavator. Also up for auction, a 2020 Komatsu WA-270-8 wheel loader, a 2017 John Deere 317G skid steer, 2 backhoes, and 3 rollers. Looking for trucks? Choose from over 100 options, including a 2017 Kenworth T880 with a wet kit and 4 Vector trucks. And if you're in need of contractor's equipment, we've got a massive assortment for you to choose from. Bidding is underway now and starts closing at 10 a.m. August 14th. And don't miss your chance to preview all items August 12th through the 13th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our Marysville location. For more information, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Looking for an epic summer night in Seattle? Be here for the Mariners Drone Show at T-Mobile Park, Friday, August 22nd, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
It is grand salami time. Cal Raleigh with his 3rd grand slam of the season.
The team is taking on the A's at 7:10, and after the game, we'll be lighting up the sky with hundreds of drones, celebrating Mariners icons past and present. Don't miss out on a jaw-dropping post-game show. Head to Mariners.com to get your tickets today.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Are you finding it hard to stay cool in your home during hot weather? The issue is likely your window's poor quality and lack of heat deflecting technology. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards and come with high-performance Sun Matrix glass, which can help keep the summer heat out. Combined with our leak armor installation, your comfort will be secured for a lifetime. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Hey, are aches, injuries, or everyday pains slowing you down? Well, it is time to move better, feel stronger, and get back to doing what you love. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy is now accepting new patients, and no referral is needed. Their expert team offers personalized, hands-on care to help you recover faster and stay pain-free longer. Shannon, what is it like to see new patients walk through your doors?
Rock, it's wonderful. You know why? It's because it's an opportunity for us at IRG to make a difference in someone's lives. It's so important that when people come in, they experience engagement, coaching, teaching. We build relationships with our patients, and we want to make it easy. We all know that healthcare has a lot of what I call minutiae in it. We have a concierge call center. When you call, we're going to check your authorization, verification, certification, justification. We're going to find out everything we need to know about your insurance, and we're going to make it easy for you because we want you focusing on getting better.
And all you got to do is head over to irgpt.com to find the clinic nearest you. irgpt.com.
Summer is here, and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors, expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy-efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates, and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
from the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Some people don't enjoy because you want that instant gratification. I understand that. Carbonate, merry-go-round.
Carbonate.
I'm on fire.
Carbonate.
Hey, you know what's funny? I just got hit up by a winery asking if they want to create a Carbonate for me.
No, you didn't.
It's a real small one, but dead.
Oh my
For
God.
real.
Did you contact sales immediately and say, I might have
sales
Bumps
gonna take
Carbonate?
my money, man. They gonna try to take some money out of that, man. Doing this deal on the side. Doing this deal on the side,
Can
on
we
the
hear
low.
it one more time?
Under the table.
Oh my God. Carbonate.
Some people don't enjoy because you want that instant gratification. I understand that. Carbonate, merry-go-round. Hey,
It's all within a week.
When I say gratification, though, you hear Stacy, in the background.
I didn't.
did.
No,
Play
I
it
didn't.
again. Play it again.
No, that's not.
Some people don't enjoy because you want that instant gratification. I understand that. Carbonate, merry-go-round. Yeah. You felt me?
That's just being a good friend.
You felt me.
I'm just a good teammate. You know
Hey.
what I mean? That's the job of the
I'm
lead
telling
is you
you.
just sit here and you let your analysts know they're supportive.
Hey, no joke. I've been to a few places after I've said gratification, and people are with it.
Gratisfaction.
It's gratification, gratifying,
It is
gratification.
what you want it to be.
You know?
We got Mariners back-to-back here. Some injury updates, including one on Josh Naylor coming up in 15 minutes. And then Ryan Divish is going to join us at 11. So lots of Mariners. We're going to get to more Bumps takeaways from the Seahawks preseason opener coming up at 11:15 in 4-down territory. So if that's what you are waiting for, hang tight. Don't go anywhere. We will get back to them. Right now, takeaways from the Mariners sweep of the White Sox. Thanks, Dom Canzone.
Here's the stretch and the next offer on the way. Swinging a ground ball into right field for a base hit. Here comes Suarez rounding third. The throw to the plate by Taylor. The slide, the tag, safe at home. Suarez, a walk-off base hit for Dom Canzone. The Mariners win it 4-3. A walk-off single for Canzone. He's being mobbed out there at first base. For the Mariners, their second walk-off win on this homestand. J.P. Crawford, a walk-off two-run home run on Friday against Texas. And the Mariners win it in 11 this afternoon.
I love a walk-off win. I love a win anytime. But, Bump, my new favorite thing to do is to say an insult or say something a little rude, but then preface it by saying, I say this with grace. I've been doing it a lot lately. Like, I say this with grace. You have a horrible singing voice, like one of those kinds of things. So with that being said, I say this with grace, okay? I say this with grace.
Okay.
A better team against the Mariners might win that one. This was close.
Yeah.
This was close.
For sure. It wasn't the prettiest win, but sometimes you got to get grimy. You got to get gritty. You have to win some games and have it not look pretty. Bars. And then you lose Naylor as well. Hopefully his shoulder's going to be okay. It sounds like it's not a big situation, but going to Naylor, my heart dropped when I saw him grimace like that, because the first thing I thought was oblique, like what Rayleigh had, and we know that's not easy to come back from. But no, this is part of the game. You have to get lucky sometimes. If you are going on a run, if you're going to be a contender, a playoff team, World Series champion, all that good stuff, you look at all the champions in any sport over the past 100 years, there's going to be some lucky games. There's going to be some lucky plays. The ball bounces your way, and you take advantage of it. So I understand people looking at this saying, how could you barely beat the White Sox 4-3, the game before that 8-6, and you blew them out 8-3 the game before that. Guess what? Sweet. You gained a game against the Astros. You're still taking care of business. This can't be a regular thing. You take care of the little homies. That's what they did. But every now and then, the little homie will close his eyes and throw a haymaker, and it clips your chin. I was in college one time. My boy got into a fight with this dude, right? And my boy is like 6'4", 220, big. And he's fighting this dude who's like 5'9", 175 pounds. And I'm thinking, man, don't beat him up too bad. But the little homie closes his eyes, swings, and clips my boy. And he stumbles a bit. He goes, oh, okay. And then it took care of itself, right? He took care of business.
Did he have cauliflower ears?
But no. These were just two athletes being dumb. But then he locked in. He locked in and said, okay, I got to do what I have to do. That's how this was here. Little homie closed his eyes, swung and clipped him, got lucky, and you got lucky too.
So unrelated, though I do have a takeaway from this. Someone says, Carbonate, bump and yawn.
Yeah, so when I saw that second word after Carbonate, I wasn't going to say it because I was not going to jack that one up too. Well, how do you say it?
bumping like Sauvignon.
Yeah, there we go. I wasn't touching that word. I wasn't touching it.
Let's see. A couple questions and comments. Not a positive one from the 786 in Florida. The Mariners barely beat the White Sox. It's not a good sign. The bullpen is pathetic. Simply not good enough to get big outs. I don't think the bullpen is pathetic. I think the bullpen is thin and taxed. And I think that Logan, unfortunately, is not able to get deep into games this season. That's just kind of been the story of his season. And I am accepting of having a weakness heading into the postseason. I wish that it wasn't pitching, frankly.
Yeah.
It's vitally important to the postseason, but I'm accepting of having a weakness. There are very, very few, if any, teams with zero flaws. What I didn't love was heading into the deadline with multiple weaknesses. Hey, where's the slugging outside of Cal Raleigh coming in your lineup? You know, Julio was heating up, and that was great, but we were wondering what's this offense going to look like. Addressing that with Naylor and Gino gives you an answer. So, yes, to your point, 786, the bullpen is not going to necessarily be or feel lights out all the time. Hopefully a starter gets a bit deeper in the game, and hopefully there are some games and some series where it looks great, right?
Yeah, that's your counter for that is you need your starters to go deeper into the games. And right now we got one starter who we can count on almost every time to go 6 or 7 innings, and that's Wu. So these other guys kind of got to catch up, and that's how you take stress off of that bullpen. But Bizzardo has to come out and understand that he just can't be giving up the runs like he's been giving up lately. Guys have to perform. Every team, every athlete, every coach has their weakness. It's about what you do to counter that. And what they've done so far to counter that is depend on Wu to go deep and to have these bats kind of ignite a little bit and pick up some slack when Cal's not doing this thing and Randy's not doing this thing, even though he did go yard yesterday. Big up Randy. But that's team sports. That's why you got 9 guys out there to kind of pick each other up when one is down. But you're absolutely correct. I get a bit worried when our starter goes 4, 5 innings and you got to go to that bullpen a bit early, and I see a couple of names run out there, and I pray to whoever I pray to and say, get us through this, please.
Let's talk about what was a negative that I think is turning into a positive. Cal Raleigh was slumping. His July numbers haven't been as great. The home run numbers were there prior to the All-Star break at the very least. Like, his slugging was crazy good. Average was bad. It was like a weird combination where it's like you got 7 hits and 6 are home runs. However, he hasn't been finding those home runs and also wasn't getting the hits. He was not looking great, definitely in a slump, very normal. It happens. I thought that entering this series, he was still struggling and that we saw some good ABs. Again, I mentioned talking to someone who knows a ton about baseball and kind of asking him about Cal in particular over this series. Hey, what are you seeing? Does this look good? And he was saying that he was seeing some improvement even in the ABs where it's, you know, maybe he's flying out to center, but it's a hard hit ball with good contact that just falls a little short. Maybe it's, you know, striking out, but it was, you know, not getting rung up, but it was otherwise like, you know, taking some really good pitches, whatever it was, that he was seeing some improvement.
Yeah, that's good. And Cal also can't control the type of pitches he's getting as well. No one is just going to lay it out there for him anymore. I mean, you look at his line in August, and it ain't good, Stacy.
It's not good.
87 average, 222 on base, 87 slug, 309 OPS. But if I'm searching for some type of positives, I'll go the last 2 games, 2 strikeouts in the last 2 games. All right, so he's turning a corner. And it's a long season, and he's playing the most physically demanding position in baseball. I expected some type of drop-off in his play. Nothing like this, but I'm glad that someone who knows what they're looking at is saying that they see some type of improvement. I'll take that and run with it.
I'd rather have a slump happen right now when you've got some really hot bats in your lineup or a lot of momentum with your team than have a slump happen when you're trying to close out the season in a tight race in September, right? So some time to figure this out. Hey, we have an update on Josh Naylor. That's coming your way next.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
The LJ way is
The Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Lee Johnson Auto Family. This is King. This organization's a special one. They call it the Lee Johnson Auto Family, and it's not just a name, it's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family, to work together, to really become close, and they show us in a lot of different ways that they do value us. Is it perfect? No, no place is. But I've been very thankful to be here in the almost 10 years and have every plan to stay here for a lot longer and just watch it continue to grow.
He's fun and professional, which explains why so many people visiting Lee Johnson Kia ask for him by name. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed. Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They are here 24/7, 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Some optimistic news on Josh Naylor. This is not from the team. It's from John Morosi, the latest update.
Daniel Kramer of MLB.com writing about the situation. Right now, Dan Wilson, the Seattle manager, is hoping that it is just a day-to-day situation. So there is some optimism for the Mariners that Naylor could be back soon.
Great. Awesome. I hope he is. Here's more from John Morosi on the Mariners getting close to full health.
The big picture for Seattle from an injury standpoint is quite good. Luke Raley is getting closer to a rehab assignment, as is Victor Robles. The Mariners, from an overall standpoint, are probably about as healthy now as they've been almost all season long.
So, again, Mariners getting as close to full health as they have all season long. And then, as we learned, that there's optimism. Naylor will be back from that injury soon, him citing Daniel Kramer. And obviously, Dan Wilson said post-game that he's day-to-day, and that was a relief after having him pulled from the game. What I wanted to do here is just kind of talk about where the Mariners go from here, the potential, the benefit of getting back to full health at the right time. We began the year by talking about guys going down like flies. And just kind of like, oh, my God, last year your starting rotation, for instance, was fully healthy. And then you have Miller who lands on the IL. This is now a second stint. You have Logan landing on the IL. George didn't even start the season with the team. So you lost Bliss early, Robles early. And it just felt like, oh, my God, nothing can go right for them right now. This is a really, really positive shift in momentum for this team.
Yeah, they just have to weather the storm, right? You have to get through this type of stuff. Every team deals with it.
Yeah.
I believe, last week, Ohtani left the game with an injury. We've seen Aaron Judge go down with an injury. Every team deals with it, but it felt like our injuries over here were just being piled on week after week after week. And there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And you found yourself or found a way to stay relevant. How did you do that? A great performance by Cal in the first half. Great decision making and negotiating with the upstairs folks, getting Josh Naylor and Geno Suarez. It's that's what happens in 162. You hardly go through this thing unscathed. And I always go back to that year when the rotation just wasn't touched. You know, that's how special and how lucky you were. What was that? 22, 23, I believe, where everyone was healthy. That's just rare. So it's not uncommon, but that's what the good teams do. You find a way, and that's what good management does, ownership does. You push your team forward by making some additions because you know that guys are going to get banged up. So now we can look at the Robles situation, the Miller situation, and say, hey, we got a couple more trade deadline additions coming in if you want to view it that way. So getting healthy at the right time because there's not too much baseball left, and these guys are only a game and a half behind the Astros.
This team in more than a couple seasons has really lucked out with, I know that they've experienced the opposite, but has really lucked out with some injury health compared to some other teams. And I hope that this, I don't know that it'll change a philosophy in terms of depth and kind of like insurance that you want to add, but I remember thinking when they entered the season, they've got so little wiggle room. And the reason Josh Naylor getting pulled from this game, I felt worried for him. I was like, oh, God. But this offense has so much firepower that it didn't before that you're like, but this is the reason. This is why sometimes you want to add more than, quote, you need. And I don't know that the Mariners typically take that approach. And maybe part of that is payroll restrictions. Maybe part of it is self-imposed restrictions. Maybe part of it is an unrelenting confidence that they'll be okay. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to pretend to be in their brains. But I think that it's a mistake to enter into any season with so little wiggle room that kind of everyone needs to stay healthy or perform or you can't lose anyone. I hope that this year was a reminder, even though they're in a really good spot, even though they may very well make the playoffs, I hope that this was a reminder of just how important it is to have extra pieces.
Yeah, and how to view players for what they are. Mastrobuoni has had some good moments for the Mariners. Dylan Moore, at the beginning of the year, he had some moments, kind of struggled a little bit, but you're asking guys who would typically be on elite teams, bench players, to come in and be everyday type of guys. So I think hopefully that changes the way that they evaluate and view guys as well. And don't go into the season thinking that a Demo, who is great, every team needs a Demo. Every team needs a Mastrobuoni. There's no knock on these guys. Just like when I was playing, I was the fourth or fifth receiver. You need those guys too. You need returners. You need guys to go down on the kickoff team and make some tackles because it adds depth. But you can't ask those guys to be top performers on your squad. So hopefully that is what happened during this process as well, is that they're changing the way that they view these players, the way they evaluate them, and their approach when it comes to constructing a hopefully championship caliber roster. It's all a learning experience. I think that's what I wanted the most out of this whole thing, especially when we're talking about the guys upstairs making the decisions, that they are learning, they are evolving, just like you ask a 21-year-old Julio Rodriguez to evolve to a 24, 25-year-old star, hopefully. The same way you're asking your pitchers to evolve into aces, right? Bryce Miller, all these young pitchers, they got to grow and evolve as well. I hope that's happening upstairs, and it feels like it might be happening upstairs because of what they've done this year with the roster.
Getting to, we mentioned, obviously there was good news from Dan Wilson on Josh Naylor's issue being a shoulder injury that's just day-to-day as opposed to something a little more serious. The other part of this good news is obviously something we talked a bit about yesterday with the Mariners getting back to full health with Rayleigh, Robles, and Miller coming back. Miller in particular sticks with me. It hasn't been like his very best season. The pitching as a whole has kind of taken a step back this year, even from guys that are healthy. That being said, you can't afford any more steps back here, and I'm hoping that maybe the version of Miller that comes out looks like last year's second half Miller, who was just absolutely phenomenal.
How much of a blessing would that be? I mean, that'll be. I mean, you're asking for
what
Ferguson
if bad luck
to kind
the
of.
Mariners have gotten kind of flips.
I mean, you gotta have some bad luck to get some good luck. I truly believe in that. So that's why when things are going bad in life, things are going bad in the game, it's like, look, there's nowhere to go but up from here. And that's hopefully what's happening with these guys, because they've done a good job staying together, man, and not listening to us flipping out when they lose series to the Nationals and us being all stressed out. I mean, they have to stay together as a squad, as an organization. And getting pieces like Geno helped that. Geno's not only a bat that's going to help produce. He's a guy that's going to keep the squad together just with his leadership and his composure. So it's the vibes are good, man. The vibes are real good right now.
Curtis, in our last minute before we hit break, Bump and I were just talking about Miller, but let's go back to Robles for a second. What kind of roster decisions might this club have to make with the return of Rayleigh and Robles?
Well, you're going to have to figure out who's going to be your right fielder. And I think right now the best bet in terms of offensive production would be to have Canzone out there. So I think maybe you run a platoon of Canzone and Robles, and I think Rayleigh kind of becomes your bench first baseman DH kind of guy, especially with Rayleigh having the oblique injury that's just kind of lingered around all season long. You probably don't want him in the field a ton, and if you do want him in the field, probably not anywhere that's going to be too strenuous on him. So I think that's kind of what you're looking at in terms of what the Mariners might look like at full health. But then the question is, when those guys are back, who do you take off the roster? I think a lot of people kind of look at Dylan Moore and what he's done over the last couple of months, and it's like, why do you keep running that bat out there? That bat is a automatic out at this point.
Feels like potentially a pretty good question for Ryan Divish. We'll throw that his way in a few more. Coming up next.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here, and I love these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
Looking for an epic summer night in Seattle? Be here for the Mariners Drone Show at T-Mobile Park, Friday, August 22nd, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
It is grand salami time. Cal Raleigh with his third grand slam of the season.
The team is taking on the A's at 7:10, and after the game, we'll be lighting up the sky with hundreds of drones, celebrating Mariners icons past and present. Don't miss out on a jaw-dropping post-game show.
He got him. He puts him away, and the ball game is over. Another phenomenal save by Andres Munoz.
Head to Mariners.com to grab your seats and see the full lineup of special events, including Kids Appreciation Day, Sunday, August 24th, and the Logan Gilbert Funko Pop giveaway, September 8th to 10th. Plus, check out a great slate of marquee interleague matchups against the Padres, Cardinals, and Dodgers.
Julio clubs this deep out to left field and gone. Julio for the second time.
Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. Chris and Ray came out to the house, and I could instantly tell we'd get along great, and I'd want to do business with them. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington and designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Look up Harley Exteriors for your window replacement. In August, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments for 1 year, and an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Juice box. I'm a mom.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check. Oh, hot sauce. Take it.
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins, a balloon. Wait one sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 per month on Experience Beyond. Finance agreement $829.99 and qualifying ported. For well-qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay out via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
The ballpark is rocking like 2001. Let us clear up your allergies so you can enjoy more of each game.
Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Let us fix your ear, nose, and throat problems. Let's make your congestion, sinusitis, snoring, and allergies a non-issue. We can diagnose and treat everything from allergy testing and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced balloon sinuplasty. Come and see us in Federal Way in Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Anthony Richardson left Indy's preseason opener yesterday with a dislocated finger, though the good news for the Colts, he's not expected to miss any time. The Mariners walked it off in extras yesterday for a series sweep of the White Sox, thanks to Dom Canzone scoring Gino Suarez to give Seattle a 4-3 win. Next up, they're going to open a series against the Rays today.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Seattle Times' Ryan Divish joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Brian, you took a bit of a break this year, and the team you're coming back to probably a little bit different than the one they were at the beginning of the season. Does it feel any different? How does it feel coming back?
It felt a little weird coming back, definitely, and yeah, it's definitely a different look. I mean, the team I left in April and started off the first homestand looking pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
And then, and they looked a lot like the teams we've seen in the past, decent pitching and not much hitting. And then, you watch over the course of the season and you see Cal Raleigh do what he does and JP kind of have the resurgent year, and then all of a sudden they get these guys at the deadline and it's a whole different lineup, and it's probably one of the better lineups I think I've covered. I started covering the team in 2006, and over that time I don't know that I've seen a better overall lineup in terms of depth and then also athleticism. Like the Nelson Cruz teams of the past were pretty they had some bashers and stuff like that, and they could really hit, but they weren't what you call real athletic. They weren't running real quick by any means. And this team can move. Even Josh Naylor stealing 20 bags. I mean, that's not something you really expect. So it's just a better lineup than I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I agree. It's weird to look at this team, Divish, and expect them to win and expect a sweep against a struggling White Sox team. What do you make of the game yesterday? I told Stacy and the listeners, good teams get lucky sometimes, and luck is going to have to be on your side. You have any gripes about how they finished the series?
I think I wrote that they tried different ways to avoid success in that game, and it wasn't just the players, but I mean, there were a lot of curious decisions, and you look at that last inning and last couple innings, and you have Dylan Moore batting for, in the cleanup spot, and you got Miles Mastrobuoni batting in Cal Raleigh's spot. And then, of course, when you don't win it in regulation, those spots come back around, and all of a sudden you're having to play the game differently than you would have. I sort of understood why they made the moves they did. They were trying to win it in regulation. I think they understood their bullpen was pretty beat up. But, I mean, at the end of the game, you didn't have any bench players left. You had Mastrobuoni batting second. You had Dylan Moore batting in the cleanup spot, and you had one reliever on the bench in Casey Legumina. I mean, that's not ideal in a lot of ways. So, I thought there were some curious managerial decisions, and even though I haven't been covering it day to day, I watched enough games to know that, Dan does things differently than Scott. I mean, I covered it, Dan, at the end of last year, that it's not maybe the typical or the more analytical side of how they do things with Dan, and he's going to do how he wants. I mean, using Cole Young to bunt and then taking him out of the game immediately, that's a pretty good left-handed hitter that you brought in just to bunt, and then he didn't get used again. That's a tough to burn a guy like that and not have him, for the rest of the game when you end up going to extra innings.
We haven't been able to talk to you much at all about Cal's season, and so I kind of want to combine two questions, because the reality is right now Cal's in a bit of a slump, so my question should be what do you see from Cal? How do players kind of work themselves out of it? Which, yes, that's what I want to know, but I haven't been able to ask you at all about just what you've seen from him, and I know that you know him so well. So can I combine both? Just ask, what you've seen from him this season, if you saw any of this coming, what your own feelings have been knowing this team and Cal so well, and then maybe a bit of what you've seen in the last couple ABs.
I mean, I really felt like Cal was going to have a good season just because, in talking with him at spring training so much, which is like every day because, like me, I get along with him so well. I felt like he was just in a good place mentally and physically, like some of the work he'd been doing with his swing and his approach. I felt like it was a good spot, and he really raved about Kevin Seitzer and Bobby Magianis about some of the stuff they were kind of wanting to impress upon the other guys. It was stuff that he felt aligned with. I didn't think he would be, like projected for 60 homers good. And I didn't know like he was going to go on this kind of tear where, he's hitting 50 or 60 points above his career batting average plus all the power. And while reducing some of the swing and miss, I thought, given the nature of the position and that there would be some regression at some point, call it a slump or call it a slow spell. And we've seen that a little bit. We've seen it with a lot of hitters, actually. Ohtani went through that a little bit, Judge, Pete Crow Armstrong, some of the guys, you're talking about the MVP in June and July, you see them hit a slow spell just because it's hard to sustain that sort of success. And that's what we've seen with Cal. I thought watching from on TV and then being there in person, like I think his at-bats have been pretty decent lately. There have been, the 5 strikeout game will stand out always because that just doesn't happen to a lot of guys. But I thought during this series, he's hit the ball pretty hard, just missed a home run a couple times. And I felt like the other day when he got up there with bases loaded and really simplified and had 2 strikes and guy tries to elevate a fastball but leaves it kind of in the middle and he just kind of simply hit it to right field, got the single. I thought that was a good sign. I mean, Cal is human and he's going to try and chase a little bit when he doesn't hit and they're not playing well. He feels the burden, but I do think like he mentally and from a maturity standpoint, he's in a better place where he understands what he needs to do, which is simplify and just see pitches and hit, not try and hit home runs. I mean, I think he's of the belief as well that if you hit the ball hard, home runs happen, not so much I've got to hit them. And I think that's a good way for him to be.
What do you think is missing from this team right now? Ryan, it's hard for me to go out there and say, yeah, I expect them to compete for a World Series. I'm just looking at the division and saying, all right, let's start there because I see some holes, and most teams have holes. There's no perfect team out there, but what would you say is the missing piece, if there is one, or the weak part of this team right now?
I don't love their bridge guys to get to the setup guys in the bullpen. I mean, like they're good pitchers, but they just haven't performed well. You look at Bizzardo gives up back-to-back homers, and Kolar gives up back-to-back homers, and Vargas comes in and gives up a homer. Like, it's one thing to give up runs, but to give up homers and like there's no defense for that. That's pretty difficult. I mean, you like the back end guys. Spire's been amazing this year, and Munoz and Brash is still solid. And I actually like Caleb Ferguson a lot. I think he helps them. But it's how do you get there when Logan only goes 5 and you need to cover the 6th inning? A lot of games in Major League Baseball are lost in the 6th inning because it's not a dude going out there. A lot of times you're piecing it together, and sometimes it feels like the Mariners are just trying to steal an inning from a pitcher that maybe isn't as good, in a leverage situation because they're just hoping, okay, this is the bottom of the order, 6th inning, we can try and run this guy out there, whether it's Vargas or Legumina or something like that, and you're trying to steal an inning, and that's all well and good, but games can be lost there, and we saw that yesterday. I mean, Vargas comes in, gives up the homer right away to number 8 hitter who I think only had 3 homers on the season. Like it can't happen. It's got to be something different. It's not like a starter where solo home runs don't hurt you as much because you're pitching 5 to 6 innings. When you're one guy, you got 1 inning and you got to cover 3 guys. Giving up a solo homer when you have a 1-run lead is not ideal. So I think that's the big issue. The injury to Trent Thornton hurts more than I think people understand. Mm-hmm. And really what the bigger issue has been is they just haven't been able to find that magic from the minor league signs and some of those guys to get a plus reliever. Legumina and Vargas and all these guys weren't expected to be a lot, and they've been in their bullpen all season roughly. They've contributed, but you haven't gotten a Steckenrider or a JT Chargois or remember Justin Topa, even obviously Seawald is the main name. You haven't gotten a guy like that kind of off the scrap heap and turned him into something. And, you're looking at Tacoma, and you're not seeing the help. Trevor Gott has really struggled. I think he was a guy that they thought would come in and help them, veteran guy who had success here, but, coming back off of Tommy John. Troy Taylor is the one that really hurts them because he was a swing and miss type of guy, and he just hasn't been able to throw enough strikes to be effective. So maybe those guys find it and you can get that, but I think that's the most noticeable thing. The other, from a position player side, you're going to get Robles back, and you'll get Raley back soon, so that fills up a lot of needs. I know that the fan base thinks that Dylan Moore is the single worst thing to happen to the Mariners, and you can make the argument that Lito Rivas probably gives you more than Dylan Moore in a lot of ways. But, Dylan's under contract, and he also can play the outfield if needed, and he's a better base runner. That's the thing is he's your backup shortstop. You have to have a backup shortstop. And so, that kind of the bench position guys, they're not perfect, but I don't know that any team has, like, bench player guys that are just, guys that are threatening to play every day. They're bench players for a reason. I think that's kind of what they have.
The interesting trade-off they've had with strengths and weaknesses from last year to this year is last year, obviously, we were hoping the offense would be better, and we just knew that it wasn't going to take some massive step forward because you didn't have pieces you needed. This year, the pitching just hasn't been there, whether it's out of the bullpen or whether it's the starters, in terms of consistency, I should say, and especially health. But those guys are technically here. So, Ryan, I can't help but let myself think, well, maybe there's some kind of Band-Aid solution that could happen. Like, you couldn't last year will Gino Suarez, a hot-hitting Gino Suarez, onto your roster. This year you have Logan. Logan's healthy. Logan's here. You have George. He's healthy. He's here. But the pitching just hasn't quite looked what it did last year. Do you think that's something that could right itself?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I think part of it is it's never going to look like last year because last year was such an outlier in terms of overall success. But, I mean, like, all the signs for Logan Gilbert are there, and he kind of mentioned it yesterday. He feels like he's pitching in the same way that he pitched last year. He's just not as efficient, whether it's giving up a ton of foul balls and not getting the swing and miss, or when you strike out as many guys as he's been striking out, it saps your pitch count. So, I mean, you'd like to see him get into the 6th and 7th inning a little bit more, and maybe that will happen. You get more efficient. You change up your game plan to attacking hitters. I thought Kirby's looked a lot better lately. There's with his breaking stuff especially, and then the big wild card will be what is Bryce like if he comes back. Last night he wasn't as quite as dominant as his first rehab start, and I think he'll make another one. But, what is Bryce Miller when he comes back, and how does he help you? Do they go to a 6-man rotation? They leave Logan Evans in? I don't think so, but, he could really change that, the kind of makeup of the rotation if he comes back and is something closer to what he was last season.
Did yesterday make you question a bit more what Dan would do in these clutch or pressure type situations, right? Because there are going to be more of these, and I anticipate, Ryan, this run for the division to come down to the last couple of weeks or so. What do you think he's learned, and what has he done to instill confidence in you or to kind of make you question some of the things that he's done?
Yeah, I don't, it's kind of weird. Like, you think you have an idea of how he's going to run a game, and then he does something completely different. And now we don't always know the information on why he does what he does. And, like, you ask him, and you don't usually get the detailed answer that maybe we got before with Scott Service. He really he would get into the philosophical aspects of why he did what he did a lot more than Dan does, and maybe that will change. But Dan does seem to go with his gut a little bit more traditional, with the bunting or some of these things. And also, like, I think he trusts his guys. He trusts maybe the guy and what he's seeing from them over the numbers that might be portrayed or he might have. So it's hard to say. I mean, like, there are times where he does some curious things, and I guess he has every reason to do it. I mean, he's got Manny Acta as a bench coach. He's one of the more analytical guys around. He's got a lot of guys there. And so, I mean, I don't think it's just one guy making the decision. I think there's a lot of input for it. He makes his decisions for a reason. But, yeah, it is curious. It's funny. He really does infuriate, like, a certain section of the Mariners fan base on social media. I kind of like I find it amusing. Like, I'll go check Twitter to see the reaction from certain people just because I know, like, they're like, grr, I mean, and heck, sometimes you can even hear it from the announcers, like, well, I'm surprised he's doing this, like, you listen to an opposing announcer sometimes too, they'll be like, well, I don't understand why he's doing this, but I guess he has his reasons, and at the end of the day, it's it's his record and his kind of, he has to wear the decisions. But you would like to, I think, sometimes have a better idea or a better explanation of their process, because that's so much of it is, what is your process in these situations? Is it all by gut, or is it by feel, or is there numbers? I think it's a combination of both. I just think that Dan sometimes leans to his personal side, maybe more over the numbers, where Scott was a little more rigid to the numbers and to the logic of it all, and kind of what he had and what he could use as empirical data to make his decisions versus, he looks really good. I'm feeling I think he's going to come through. There was more like, okay, this is the practical outlook of it all.
Last one here quickly, Ryan, and then we'll get you out of here. What are some of the roster construction questions that they're going to have with the return of Raley, Robles, and I guess Miller, though we can kind of figure that one out?
Yeah, I mean, that'll be interesting to see how they do that. I mean, I think a lot of people have wondered how long Donovan Solano was going to remain on the team. And so I think that's, a guy that you can move out. The other bench pieces, it's kind of curious, like, what would you do here with, like, how would you handle – you have to have a backup shortstop. So do you keep Demo? Do you move Mastroboni out? How do you split up the playing time? I think Dominic Canzone has proven that he needs to play and he needs to be in the lineup on a pretty consistent basis. So how do you work that in with Raley, who is a very effective player and can really help you, and then Robles, who comes back? I do think, like, I know everybody thinks, well, Robles is starting his rehab assignment on the 12th and he's going to come back right away. They're going to give him probably 40 to 50 at-bats. Usually when you're coming back like that and playing that much over that course of time, it's not linear. There are, like, minor setbacks. You need a day here, a day there. Like somebody who's dealt with shoulder issues before, like, you just don't feel good every day coming back when you have a lot of activity. So I'm not, like, penciling Robles in, 10 days off of his IL or his rehab start or stay to be back. I think, doing that would be unfair to him. So thinking by September 1st, and the one thing is on September 1st, they get to add one position player, one pitcher to the roster. So I think the August 12th setup for the rehab assignment, that's not just based on his health, but it slots out very well too, where he can play 3 weeks and then they'll be ready to go with the expanded rosters, and that'll help the Mariners significantly.
He is Seattle Times Mariners reporter Ryan Divish, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Ryan, we appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, take it easy.
Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, though, it ended in an interception. What did you like about the Seahawks' first drive on offense?
I really liked it. They went 9 plays, 57 yards. It ended in an interception. It's just Drew Lock not really leading his receiver on a corner route, underthrew him. Now the cornerback was able to undercut him and intercept it. But despite that, how many plays did I say? 9 plays, 57 yards, at least six different formations. That means that the defense was guessing. And at least 3 to 4 different personnel groups. That means they're rotating guys in. That tells me that the defense could not just sit back, relax, and anticipate what was going on there. You had fullbacks in there. You had 2 tight ends. You had 3 tight ends. You had shotgun. You had under center. You had a little bit of everything in 9 plays. And that just shows the variety of this offense. They can go many places when it comes to personnel and formation, and I like that and then the shifting and the motioning as well. One of the things I was looking forward to seeing in this Kubiak offense. So yes, it did end in an interception. Not a good look for Drew Lock initially, but he did come back and throw a touchdown and kind of right his wrongs. But I just like the presentation of that very first drive. It's easy to kind of to have variety in your first drive because you usually script your first 10 plays. But I remember last year going through the first 10 plays and just seeing a lot of the same stuff. So that wasn't the situation here with Kubiak. I was happy to see that. 9 plays, 6 different formations, and at least 3 to 4 different personnel groups. I like to see it.
Second down. What did you make of Jalen Milroe's day?
I thought it was productive. I thought it was pretty much what I expected for his very first time out there being a professional quarterback. He showed a little bit of everything. He ran the football for a 27-yard game. He had a couple passes he completed, 6 for 10 for 61 yards, was sacked 1 time. I would like for him to run the football in that 4th and 1. But no, he looked like a guy who took the necessary steps because we saw him struggle a bit in training camp at times, and it's expected. He's supposed to struggle. Everyone doesn't come out and have that rookie year that Russell Wilson had. but I thought it was very productive, and I like the way he handled the post-game conferences as well. He's a clear leader. He is realistic with his expectation and who he is, and I think that I can't wait to see what he looks like the following week after he goes back, watches film, and makes these corrections. He's going to be one of the most intriguing stories to follow this preseason. But I thought he looked exactly the way he should, like a guy who can make some plays, also has some learning to do, but there's no denying the talent that he has physically. I was happy for Jalen Milroe, had a decent first day.
Third down. How did Drew Lock help you prep for the game yesterday?
Hey, he had me locked in. We spoke to Drew, and Paul Moyer told me to relay a message to you that we did a good job on that interview. He goes,
thanks, Paul.
Very good job on that interview. Thanks, Moyer. But he was talking about how Mike McDonald kind of keeps offenses guessing. They're going to show pressure from one side, then they're going to back out, and the pressure is going to come from the other side. They're going to twist and all that good stuff. And when you get information like that from guys who are in the organization, in the program, you take notes. I took note, and I said, all right, this is what I'm going to look at least the first few series while Imawari is in there and all these other guys. And we saw that. And that creativity, what it does when you're showing pressure from one side, you're making the offensive line have to communicate. Is this going to be a four-man slide when you're talking about the offensive line, right? A four-man slide essentially means that tackle on the backside is going to be locked in. Everyone else is going to slide and protect the gap to their right? So it's going to be a four-man slide. It's going to be a three-man slide, two-man. There are ways that you can affect the communication with the offensive line, and that's what pressure does. So then you slide to the side where the pressure is coming from. You back off there. Are you sliding? Everyone's protecting that right gap. Then you send a blitz down the gap that's unprotected. It's just making the offensive line have to communicate and make the quarterback have to be right. He showed that early, and it was fun to watch.
Fourth down. Which player needed to make a big play and did?
This man needed it because there's a lot of competition in this room, and I was so happy to see Nehemiah Pritchard come out with an interception. And his interception was more impressive than Josh Jobe. I'm glad Jobe had an interception too. It was an underthrown ball for Jobe. Kind of easy. If you're in position, you look back, you get the football, you're good. But Nehemiah's was impressive because it looked like he was in a soft coverage. It was either cover 3 or cover 4. So his job is to make sure that the receiver over him does not get behind him. You get deeper than the deepest, you turn your hips, and you run. But at some point, because you're in a zone, you can look in the backfield and kind of see what the quarterback is doing. That's what he did. He had outside leverage. He's on top of the receiver, sees the quarterback throwing that out route to the number 2 receiver. That's the one inside of Nehemiah if I'm the corner. And he breaks off his responsibility, and you go and make a play. That's what you're supposed to do. A lot of times, guys get caught up in doing their job, which you're supposed to. You make sure your job is secure, you're assignment friendly, you're good to go. But at the end of the day, see ball, get ball. And he recognized the route combination. He was in good position, trusted his eyes and his instincts, broke on the football, caught that thing, and tried to get some money. Nehemiah needed that play to be made because we know there's a lot of comp over there. Griffin is now back with the team. He was off in Florida handling business with his family for a long time. You see Josh Jobe with an interception. So now Nehemiah's feeling some pressure. There's competition out there. Yes, you want to win the game. You're a part of a team, but you're trying to beat that guy in front of you. So for a guy who hasn't made too many plays over the last, year or so, this was big for Nehemiah, and he showed just proper technique and great instinct.
They've got so much depth in that room, too. I know that a couple days ago we talked about, do you have a ton of depth at inside linebacker? If Uchenna Nwosu isn't playing week 1, do you have your 4 edge rushers that you normally want, your outside backers? And we were talking about maybe some depth concerns if we had to nitpick that we had there, but I forgot that conversely, in the secondary, they've got so many interesting pieces.
They got some bodies out there, man. But again, the defensive players have the advantage when making the team because they can play special teams. So keep making plays when you're on 11-on-11, Nehemiah, Josh Jobe, and then contribute on special teams. Your chances of making the team are high.
Our coverage of Seahawks training camp is brought to you by The Landing in Renton. All right, we're going to get back to more of what caught our eye in preseason week 1 coming up at noon, including I'm putting someone on Diva Watch. Not just Bob.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by The Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
contractors, and heavy equipment operators. Get ready. The James G. Murphy Auction Company presents one of the biggest heavy equipment auctions of the summer. On the auction block, we've got 13 excavators, including a 2018 Komatsu PC-238 USLC-11, a 2015 Komatsu PC-138, and a CAT 308 mini excavator. Also up for auction, a 2020 Komatsu WA-270-8 wheel loader, a 2017 John Deere 317G skid steer, 2 backhoes, and 3 rollers. Looking for trucks? Choose from over 100 options, including a 2017 Kenworth T880 with a wet kit and 4 Vector trucks. And if you're in need of contractor's equipment, we've got a massive assortment for you to choose from. Bidding is underway now and starts closing at 10 a.m. August 14th. And don't miss your chance to preview all items August 12th through the 13th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our Marysville location. For more information, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com.
Rare and luxurious 100 years of exceptional automobiles is currently on display at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Feel the thrill of racing simulators. It's excitement for all, and out-of-town visitors will love it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
The future is here. So why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
You gotta love baseball season, but when it comes to your windows, you don't want any curveballs. Rick Riz here, reminding you to trust your clubhouse with locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Experience the difference with high-quality products, expert installation, and top-notch customer service. It's always a home run with Pella. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Just go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
JTV Jewelry Television knows you love to sparkle, so now's your time to shine like the star you are. Enter JTV's Shine Like a Star sweepstakes for your chance to win $5,000 in dash dazzling jewelry from top brands, including Rachel Zoe Jewelry and Judith Ripka Jewelry. Plus, just for entering, get $30 off your next qualifying JTV purchase of $99 or more when you opt in for emails. Enter now at jtv.com/likeastar. And remember, if you love jewelry, you'll love JTV.
It's back to school season, and Clorox is donating 2 million disinfecting wipes to classrooms across America. Because back to school means things can get a little bit messy. Just ask second grade teacher Mr. Torres.
Put me and just one Clorox wipe on a team? We can take on crayon smudges, sticky fingerprints on every surface, sneezes on the door handle, juice box explosion by the sink, snack crumbs, and don't even get me started on the bathroom passes.
Clorox disinfecting wipes, teacher's #1 wipe.
Think about it. Bathroom passes.
Clean feels good. Based on unit sales data.
Brought to you by Integrated Rehabilitation Group.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Matt, is it okay if I butt in here for a segment? Is that fine?
I mean, I'd prefer if you didn't, but if you have to, I guess.
Pete Carroll crashed John Schneider's pregame interview.
Let me ask him what it's like getting to see this guy. How are you, Pete?
It wasn't a big deal at all. It wasn't a big thing at all. I'm just glad to see him doing his radio show still.
That's right. He gets paid a lot of money to do that.
I know. Big bucks. Well, you're the one with the big bucks.
Well, something like that.
Anyway, I don't want to screw up your show. I just wanted to screw up your show.
That part hasn't changed.
No.
That part will always stay the same.
No.
Pete Carroll was on Demon Time. You know when you walk into maybe a bar or a place or a building and you know everyone and you're just walking by, hey, like you're like the comfort level is a 12 out of 10. You know what I mean? You're like, I run this place. It's not that like Pete runs this place, but like it really was like that moment of you walk into a bar, you know everyone, and hey, Billy, oh, hey, Tommy, what's up? And everyone's just dapping you up. That was Pete.
Pete was me at Moonshine.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, Pete was me at Moonshine. You know, everybody there, you know, the bartender, you know, the manager, you know, the patrons who are there, the dogs who show up from time to time. You just feel comfortable. Like, that has to be a cool place for Pete to operate his first time coaching the Raiders as a head coach, and you're back at your old spot. I think it was fun. I think that as the season progresses, he'll tighten up just a little bit. You're obviously not playing the Seahawks, so you won't be in that situation anymore. But you're supposed to make light of the situation. I think that that was important for Pete, and it was important for the fans too. I think a lot of people texted me and commented, I guess in our group chat, and they loved it. They loved seeing Pete there. They loved Marshawn, Mike Robb, you know, Bennett, Cliff Averill. It was just a family affair. So preseason, that's fine. If it was a regular season, I'm sure Pete would probably stick to his sideline a bit more.
This next story just absolutely gets me because it's dripping with irony. So this is about the adult toys being thrown onto the court at WNBA games, including some not making it to the court and just hitting fans. So this from ESPN, a self-described cryptocurrency enthusiast told ESPN that he's part of a group that's orchestrated these stunts. They've disrupted at least 3 WNBA games in the past 10 days. He spoke on the condition of anonymity. That's the first bit of irony to me is, first of all, I don't even know if I fully believe that you're actually behind this, but secondly, claiming to want some of that attention, but then you're not brave enough to speak on the record with who you actually are. I just find that deeply ironic and kind of cowardly. He said that they wanted to pick up on the WNBA and, quote, all its controversy, so the league was a logical target. He said it was more or less like an opportunistic approach to, you know, what's already trending. Where is there already controversy, and how do we intercept some of that attention? So he said, we wanted to make memes funny again. This guy just sounds like, God, what's the radio-friendly version of this? A loser?
He, well, 2 incidents happened at the Fever game. So obviously Caitlin Clark is in the building. So
a lot of
that
attention.
would make sense. My question is, what does that act have to do with your cryptocurrency? I don't see the connection. Someone make it make sense to me. It feels like this guy is really in this moment trying to take advantage of an opportunity to promote himself, not actually executing these acts himself or his people's doing that. He's seen an opportunity now and said, "Oh, well, no one's claiming it. I'll do it. Let's get these people talking about what I'm doing over here."
So yes, I think that's totally a possibility. There is also an interesting timeline going along with it where they really could be behind it. So this coin that they have is named for the adult toy. And it started trading the day before the first one was thrown. So there is a world where, because I thought the exact same thing, where I was like, it sounds like you're just jumping on it.
Mm-hmm.
In theory, because there are so few
you can't
events.
say the name of the coin on there.
No, because our bosses would get mad at us, Bum.
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm asking if it was appropriate or not.
No,
it's
okay. Not appropriate. Right. It describes the toy in a pretty clear way.
Oh, okay.
So I think that there have been so few instances of it that like it could really go either way. You could make the case that the timeline matches up, in which case, again, I think it's really lame. First of all, I think any time that you decide to troll or harass and then remain anonymous, you're a coward and a loser. I really do. Like, I think that is the most hypocritical bull blank, because you're trying to draw attention to yourself without actually putting yourself out there, and it's at the expense of other people. It's at the expense of their embarrassment, attention, people enjoying the games, whatever it is that you're trying to do. And again, I'm still on the fence, because it's like, well, who's this little 17-year-old that was throwing it? You're telling me that he's like part of this?
This is classless.
It is classless.
Yep.
It's really lame. I don't know. I think that this take from Boomer Esiason really tops the list of bad takes for the week. And I will admit that when we were watching a no-hitter being thrown by the Guardians the other day and Juan Soto broke it up with a home run, I said, and I quote, "I hate you, Juan Soto." So, like, I also had a take on Juan Soto. I don't know that it was as bad as Boomer's, though.
And quite frankly, there was a chance yesterday that when Juan Soto hit that ball, that he might have been thrown out at first base if it doesn't go out of the building. Because he's loafing out of the box. Now, I don't expect him to sprint to first base in a situation like this, but he watched the whole thing and
it gets out by literally a foot.
By a foot, and it's back in. And you know what? This to me is like a rear, and he's got a nice smile on his face, like he's laughing. I'm sick of it. I want to see attitude. I want to see, when the Mets had Gary Carter, they had Ray Knight, they had, they had guys that would fight. They would go on losing streaks too, like every baseball team does. But I don't ever, and maybe I'm forgetting things, but there were times where these guys would be fighting each other. They were fighting.
They're punching Eric Davis in the face on third base.
Right, exactly.
In Cincinnati.
And this team looks, this team looks overpaid and underwhelmed.
Bump. What do you make of Boomer's take?
It's a Boomer take, that's for sure.
It's a bad one.
Listen, he got a hold of that. He got a hold of that ball. Mm-hmm. He felt it was out. He's looking at it a little bit. This is just how the game is played today. I didn't see anything wrong with it. He's smiling because he broke up a no-hitter. He's like, yeah, I did that. What's wrong with enjoying it? You want guys to if I had the same approach as Boomer, I would get mad at these kids and the way they're collecting NIL and celebrating on the football field and living their life. This is their world now. The game has passed you by, right? If you are behind the mic talking about the game, it is no longer yours. It no longer belongs to you. It's your job to just promote what you're seeing and make it make sense. Mm-hmm. They're just different. And I think because I am a father of two teenagers, my kids do stuff all the time where I scrunch my face like, I would never do that. I would never say that. But I'm also not 15, 13, and 20, 25 and growing up in the world that they live in. I saw nothing disrespectful about this. Let me break up a no-hitter. Heck yeah. I'm looking at that thing. I'm going to admire it. I'm going to smile. I'm going to have fun with it. I'm not trying to fight anybody because he sat there and looked at it. Now, if he stood there, looked at it, threw the bat up, celebrated, and did all that, that's a bit different. I saw nothing wrong with what Soto did. He did something special. I think Boomer's just mad that he broke up the no-hitter. He just wants to see the no-hitter more than he wants to see Soto hit that home run.
Well, he wants to see the home run, but he wants to see Soto be, like, angry, I guess. But also worth noting is that, like, they've already got one out in the eighth. The Mets are not winning this game. Like, maybe they could rack up 4 runs at this point and get back into it. But I think also Soto's smiling because it's like, oh, cool, a home run. Ooh, hey, sorry, dude. And also, like, this didn't win us the game. I'm just going to go ahead and run this one in and cool for me. And, I think that there is a type of mindset that Boomer's displaying right now where almost nothing from someone like Juan Soto makes him happy.
He's jealous. He's jealous because he's getting $700 million. Yeah, he's having a down year. He's not really producing the way that you expected him to produce. And if anybody knows that, it should be an athlete. There are times where you just don't produce. And maybe he is a bit cocky. Maybe he didn't deserve the 700 in your eyes. But I saw nothing wrong with that act. I think that it's all the stuff that surrounds Juan Soto which got him upset about that. If there was somebody that he just admired, if it was a Mike Trout or a Bryce Harper or whoever, someone who he feels plays the game the right way in his eyes, he had nothing to have no problem with that. But I think this felt personal. It didn't feel like it was a generational type thing. It felt personal.
Yeah, and I do think Juan Soto is one of those stars where for some people he can be triggering because he's got all the talent in the world, and then he's not going to hit that consistently, so he's going to make you frustrated for that reason. He didn't stay with the Yankees, so Yankees fans are going to hate him. He is going to be in a good mood and maybe not super fiery and old school, and so that's going to make you mad. Like, whatever it is, you're going to find something to just hate about him if you absolutely want to. But this was just one of those situations where the game's kind of over, man.
I didn't see nothing with the act.
I don't either.
That didn't bother me at all.
No, not at all.
And I also find
I felt bummed the no-hitter was broken up.
Yeah.
I felt bad.
Well, I always find it weird, too, how people criticize Juan Soto and be like, this guy's not a winner and stuff. He's already won a World Series, and he took another team to another World Series.
Right.
And he's like 26 years old.
I think he's one of those stars that it's like this roller coaster of you get a level when you're a level of talent, and he won that World Series with the Nationals. He turned like 20.
He was like 21.
21, yeah. So he's really, really young. So it's been many years now. So you start getting paid. You make big contracts. You're a big part of trades. You're headlining MLB.com and all this stuff. And then if you don't constantly meet the moment, you're going to get critiqued. It's what Bryce Harper did deal with for a while. It's like when there's that much hype, when you've gotten some record-breaking deal or been part of some record-breaking trade, you can only go down. You can only disappoint after that, and people will just find takes to have about you not being perfect. So I like your point about that there is real jealousy with that, because I think something people don't want to admit
jealousy,
is
man.
sometimes there is, I think with old school players, a very real and understandable, but a real jealousy there. You're right.
I'm jealous. I wish I got 2.5 in college.
Or got NIL deals, right?
I'm not hating on them, though. But I am jealous.
I probably feel the same way, right? Like you're like a 5-star receiver, and it's like, man, I could have gotten a couple $1 million, and instead I played at a time where you get in trouble for, getting free lunch somewhere.
Getting free Jack in the Box.
Yeah. The IRG Injury Report is brought to you by IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Bryce Miller made his second rehab start Thursday night for Tacoma. He pitched 3 2/3, struck out 5, allowed 3 home runs, though, in the Rainiers' 7-4 win. We've got the things that caught our eye from preseason week 1 coming your way in 20 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here and all these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
Welcome to IRG's Sports Injury Update. We're with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and president of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, and our guest, Dr. Kim Harmon, Deputy Chief Medical Officer of the NHL and head football physician at the University of Washington at Sports Medicine Clinic Husky Stadium.
Dr. Harmon, tell us about sudden cardiac arrest in athletes.
Sudden cardiac arrest is the most common medical cause of death in young people. And so while it's relatively rare, particularly in some sports, it can be reasonably common. It happens about 1 in 2,000 in men's basketball players that are NCAA. And so when an athlete collapses, you should consider that sudden cardiac arrest until proven otherwise. So if an athlete collapses, they may have some seizure-like movement. Don't be fooled that that's a seizure. You should implement your emergency action plan. That involves calling 911, getting an AED, an automated external defibrillator, on the athlete and starting CPR if they remain unconscious. If you put an AED on somebody and they're not having a sudden cardiac arrest, it's not going to do anything. It won't shock them. And so it's just really important to recognize and then to start the emergency action process.
And diagnosis, I mean, we have these preseason physicals. I mean, can you detect this electrical dysfunction in an athlete?
You can detect about 2/3 of the things with an ECG. A regular physical, listening to the heart and listening to the history, is pretty unlikely to detect some of these things that mostly people are born with.
Just be prepared. That's the key here. Be prepared.
Yes.
Good stuff. Dr. Harmon, thank you for your time.
With over 40 neighborhood clinics around Washington, IRG has you covered. Let IRG be your family's physical therapist. Find the location nearest you at irgpt.com. That's irgpt.com.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're here 24/7. 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. Not a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Pacific Power Batteries has been our family-owned and operated business since 1985 when my dad and I started selling batteries business to business to commercial fleets from a 1-ton panel van. Yep, delivering batteries. Since then, with our community's support, we've been able to sell online and open more retail stores selling batteries of all kinds. Today, my wife and son are directly involved in the business. At Pacific Power Batteries, we are proud to serve you, your folks, and your grandparents with batteries for darn near anything. So I want to say thank you for your business.
The Mariners are giving you more baseball for your buck. With Mariners Value Games, score seats for as little as $11 on select dates all season long. Plus, check out the expanded Mariners Value menu and beers available every game. Enjoy ballpark classics like hot dogs and nachos for less than $5 and a great selection of brews starting at just $5. Go to mariners.com/value to grab your tickets and check out the full slate of value options at T-Mobile Park.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you are listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, coming up in 15, we're going to talk about the things that caught our eye from preseason week 1. So when we're talking about Seahawks here, I don't want to spoil any of these plays. What I do want to talk about is maybe more of a philosophical angle. Pete Carroll being back in town yesterday was not only fun just to, see the interactions that he had with former players, and it was just good vibes all around. It was also a really interesting bump because I was thinking of some of the things that he, in the end, was totally right about and some things that I'm glad are a bit different. So I wanted to explore a couple here, and I'm going to start by the thing that he was totally right about, which is how important it is to know yourself. And I remember years ago, this is before the Rams won their first Super Bowl, and I don't think they had been to one yet with McVay. So I don't. This would be around 2017, 18. McVay had just started. Anyways, this is years ago, and the Seahawks are getting ready to take on the Rams in the regular season. And Pete Carroll is asked about Sean McVay, and at the time, Gurley's like going off, right? So it's like a peak Rams, like they're looking great. And the first thing he says is not about necessarily like, oh, McVay, he's so innovative, he's so whatever. He just said he really knows himself. And I thought it was interesting that Pete Carroll's very first takeaway was that. And I think it became clear that the Seahawks lost themselves. So I do find a little bit of irony in the Seahawks working so hard to establish the run, to lean into that, into their identity, considering how often Pete Carroll was criticized for it. But that's kind of something that I'm thinking back on. It is important to know who you are. If you want to be a team that runs the ball, be that team. Stubbornly be that team. Innovatively be that team. And Pete Carroll was right about it all along. So it was just interesting to think back on.
Knowing yourself means that you know what you want to be, obviously in a scheme and philosophy, and then getting the right pieces to do that. Because you can know what you want to be and who yourself, right? Know who you are. I'm Michael Bumpus, and when I was a coordinator, I went to spread the football out and throw the ball across the yard. By my third year as a head coach, my personnel was different. I had to adjust a little bit. So that's just football in general, is going in with an idea, because your job when you sit down and interview with organizations and head coaches or whatnot is to preach your philosophy. This is what I think we can be, so this is what we're going to do. Now, once I get into the mix, I got to be able to tweak and make these adjustments, but the foundation of who I am is always going to be the same. You just have to tweak and adjust, and I think that yesterday we saw the foundation laid out. As far as the offense goes, I think defensively we've known who this team wants to be and how they're going to attack teams. But offensively, we saw him practice what he's been preaching in Kubiak and Mike McDonald, because they have to be walking hand in hand with this whole thing. And Kubiak knows who he is. That's why he's made some stops. He was with Minnesota. He was an offensive coordinator. He was a pass game coordinator. He's been around his dad, Gary Kubiak, and Mike Shanahan. So if there's anyone who has a true meaning or true understanding of who they are, it has to be Kubiak. I think Grubb knew who he was, but I also think that he wasn't able to adjust who he was to who he had and what his coach wanted. And I also think that there might have been some fibbing on the resume.
I think
there might have been some, hey, this is what I'm going to do because I want this job. I'm going to tell you everything that you want to hear right now because I want this job. And I might sprinkle it in a little bit, but when it comes down to it, who I really am is going to show up. And that's a guy who wants to toss a football 45 times a game.
Grubb coming here would be like me dating a guy and being like, oh, I'm so outdoorsy because I think it makes me sound cooler. And then all of a sudden, if that person wants to go hiking every other day, I'm going to be like, you know what? I can't keep up. I'm not interested in this. That was Ryan Grubb. I know that's a bad analogy, but I was immediately thinking of, when you kind of pitch yourself as a certain way and like, of course I'm going to establish the run. Like I remember us sitting down with Grubb and him being like, oh, of course we want to run the ball. And it's like, but that's not really who you are as a coordinator, and that's okay. But it was important that you figured that out. And I think Mike McDonald knows who he is, and I think that's hugely important. And there are just so many things that I look back on and I go, God, when I was 25, 26 covering Pete Carroll as a reporter, I didn't know yet that this stuff isn't just coach speak. It is it all really matters. And you know what? Maybe you can criticize me for that, but I remember there was sentiment that was somewhat common about Pete Carroll, just being like, oh, that doesn't mean anything, or oh, he doesn't know anything, or he's too old school. All that stuff Pete would say about knowing yourself and being true to yourself and knowing your identity and staying with who you want, that's not just, hot air. That's someone who's been around for decades and knows how important that is.
You won't be able to execute at a high level if you aren't true to yourself and you know yourself. Individually, as a football player, as a coach, you won't be able to prepare your guys. As an organization, you won't be moving in the right direction with all that are involved moving in unison. And I think that is important. It sounds like super deep, right? And people could look at it and think of it as corny, as dramatic or whatnot. But the best teams that I've played on, everyone is moving in the same direction, and everyone understands their role and how they're going to contribute to this whole deal. Kubiak, Mike McDonald, all the involved are in that process right now. You have the layout, you have the blueprint, but like we're building a home. Like I'm looking at some land over there, and I'm going through the city, and I have an idea of what I want to do with this land. But the city's telling me, nah, man, you got to do this, you got to do that. There are things that you have to adjust on the way to building this home. And that's what a football season is. You go in with a blueprint, and then you adjust a bit. But at the end of the day, the home ain't going to look dramatically different from what you wanted. You just got to tweak some things, and that's what we'll see throughout the season. But the most important thing I saw is that Kubiak called a game exactly the way that he said he was going to call a game, and we expected him to call a game. Will there be times where he has to throw the ball 40 times? Yeah, because defenses adjust. But initially, he gave the people what they came to see.
Well, and I think you can speak to this, too, that it matters for players to see that you've got a plan. It matters for players to know that you know who you want to be. There's something we can come back to here. There's a version of this offense that you truly, truly believe in. And, it's kind of like we got to know someone's driving this thing.
Yeah.
So it's important to be able to see that. All right. We're going to talk about some of the things that caught our eye in the first preseason game. It's coming your way next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, if I could get an interception, man. How many did you have in your career? 3. How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands. Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Beat rising costs at Lake Washington Windows and Doors. For a limited time, get a 20% inflation discount and enjoy easy 18-month free financing with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest. Details at lakewashingtonwindows.com. Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Rare and luxurious 100 years of exceptional automobiles is currently on display at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Feel the thrill of racing simulators. It's excitement for all, and out-of-town visitors will love it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
You have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Long-awaited start for Shedeur Sanders. He's going to be going for the Browns tonight. He and Tyler Huntley, 2 healthiest quarterbacks on the roster. You're going to see a lot of them in Cleveland's preseason game. The Mariners walked it off in extras yesterday for a series sweep of the White Sox, thanks to Dom Canzone scoring Gino Suarez to give Seattle a 4-3 win. Next up, opening a series against the Rays today.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Our coverage of Seahawks training camps brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Speaking of training camp, we got one more day. We're going to be out there on Tuesday, and then the rest of the preseason is kicking off. You're going to be hosting the Chiefs on that upcoming Friday, the 15th. And then the following week, preseason week 3, I think on Saturday against the Packers. And then you're diving into this thing, football season. It's here. We've got What Caught Our Eye preseason week 1. Now, as you guys know, every single season we've got What Caught Our Eye after Seahawks games. We're sticking with it for the preseason, though I will admit some of mine are a little light, a little silly, but I cared about them.
Okay.
My first one, normally you go first, but I'm going first because I want to put you on blast here. So I'm trying to catch you off guard. JSN's on Diva Watch. He's, from everything I've heard, like the nicest guy, but I'm putting him on Diva Watch for this reason. At exactly 8:11 p.m., okay, JSN still wearing sunglasses. And
sun was still out. Yes. The sun was still out. Yes.
When we
8:11, that sun's going down pretty quick.
It's a pretty sunsetty outside.
Actually at the stadium.
I was at the stadium.
The sun was still out. It was.
I left the stadium at that exact same time. I had to put my sunglasses on to leave, or else I would have
Exactly.
No.
This is
Diva
ridiculous.
behavior.
What are y'all talking about?
Typical
You're reaching.
wide receiver.
I don't think
Diva behavior.
Matt is not a wide receiver.
No.
If anyone's gonna throw some salt on something, it is Matthew Nelson.
And if anyone else is going to explain away wide receiver diva behavior, it's a diva wide receiver, Michael Bumpus, who came to work today walk through the front door, walk through the lobby, walk down the hallway, and into the sports pit with sunglasses on?
Because it was sunny out.
Inside the building?
He took
I'm
10
talking
steps
about
in the
Michael
building to
Bumpet.
get to his office.
So here we go. Here we
Wow.
go. Nico Tamurian, who does sports for Como 4 in this town, on May 23rd, tweeted a picture of Jackson Smith and Jigba at a Storm game. May 23rd, indoors, wearing sunglasses.
Speak on it.
Okay,
Speak on it.
are we talking
We gotta
about
watch
him at the
these
Storm
diva wide
game?
receivers.
Are we talking about him outside?
We're
at
talking about
Lumen?
wearing sunglasses indoors and at night.
What's Jackson going to do next? Expect the front office person to just open up the door to the lobby so he doesn't have to use his key card the way Michael Bumpus does?
Oh, she's angry about it.
She's just jealous.
I'm not jealous.
She's just jealous.
I'm not jealous. I've never wanted fame.
That's the biggest lie ever uttered on these airwaves. So we're just lying now.
Just know that I'm the only one in this market that's going to hold these diva wide receivers accountable. I got Diva Watch going all season long. And the first person on it.
had shades on.
Diva
Witherspoon
behavior.
had
Diva Watch.
Shades on.
Diva Watch.
It's 8:11 in the Northwest. You guys grew up here.
I'm gonna
you
call
know it
it-
don't get dark until 9 o'clock.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to say it. Problematic behavior.
Problematic. Oh man, you know what? If I
I'm
was
just saying,
making,
I
if I
wouldn't be
was making like
surprised.
$10 million to $15 million a year, yeah, I'd probably keep my shades on too.
I just think that this is something we should frankly be concerned about.
You're
Am I going to
concerned
open
about
the
it.
show with it on Monday if it becomes a problem?
Did you see the clips where he didn't have his shades on, and he's just on
Did
the
he see
sideline,
them?
sideline just chewing seeds and stuff? Did you see that clip too?
Oh, so he's just chewing seeds and probably spitting them out, not even into a garbage
There was
can.
a
Diva
cup.
behavior.
He had a cup in his hand. Why do you hate JSN? What did he do to you?
I don't hate JSN. I'm
Why-
just
what's-
really
what's wrong?
determined. I'm determined to start my Diva Watch this year, and I need entries. There's too many nice people on this team. There's too many nice people on this team. There's too many good guys. I need entries into Diva Watch. Otherwise, my Diva Watch is pointless.
That's true.
So welcome, Jackson. You're the
Jackson's
first
on
one
the-
on there.
he's on the list,
Yeah, I'm
huh?
going to have a Diva tracker
Yeah,
all year
shades
long.
on when the sun was out. He qualifies.
I'm tired of these guys being nice and friendly and polite. No, absolutely not. We need divas on this team.
Oh man.
And Jackson's
You know
on
what?
Diva Watch. And you're on Diva
You
Watch.
know what? Where's G Scott? Because you love you some G Scott, and G Scott stay with the shades on inside.
I think G would admit to being a diva.
Yeah, G stays on Diva Watch. G is the organizer of the Diva Squad.
He's the president of the.
He's the president of the Diva Club.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to be, but I'm instead the person who holds people accountable.
I don't know, I'm looking at shots of the field last night. The field was mostly in the shade. The field was mostly in the shade.
I'm just saying.
Raise your hand if you were in that stadium yesterday. So you guys are just watching television and throwing stuff out there. Meanwhile, Matthew and I were actually at the game.
I think Matt's trying to antagonize me because he is. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. But
Let me be clear. That is normally true. It's the most fun thing about this job is antagonizing Stacy. But it was also just sunny out.
Sunny.
The sunset doesn't.
Has he worn glasses inside, shade inside? Yeah, for sure he has. But yesterday was not the case. So if you want to go to the Storm game and throw them in, okay. But yesterday it was valid.
One of the things that I promise you guys as a reporter, as someone who
As a
upholds
reporter.
truth in journalism, one thing that I promise Seahawks fans I will do all year long is hold these players accountable. And that's going to start with Diva Watch. And I got my eyes on you, Jackson. Bump, what do you got?
Oh man, I ain't got that. What caught my eye? Milroe made the game look slow when he took off, and it didn't look like he was exerting a lot of energy either. I mean, that 27-yard run, he looked good. He had another 7-8 yard run, and you see the strength and the athleticism in the way he runs the football. It got me excited because I start thinking now if he can put together the total package, right? There's a pass where he's rolling out to his right, he completes a pass. Another one where he's sitting in the pocket, he completes a hitch. There's a lot of potential there. I don't think he'll be ready this year. I don't think he'll be ready next year. But by that third year, he might be ready, but it's all about his development. And I was excited. Big ups to Drew Lock. I'm happy for him. He just reaffirmed everything I thought about him. If something were to happen to your number one quarterback, he'll be just fine. But I'm looking towards the future, and Milroe gave me enough to believe that over the years he could progress and possibly be the starter here in 28 or something like that.
That's really, really encouraging and also hugely important because while I don't mean to take away from Darnold or Drew, who's looked really polished and really sharp, Milroe has a set of just athletic weapons that is so hugely important for modern quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So there's just an upside that exists in today's league with Milroe that maybe doesn't with the other guys, and frankly doesn't for most athletes, doesn't for most quarterbacks.
He throws a heck of a ball too, man. Tight spiral. There's a lot to work on. Let's not get it twisted, but he gave me enough to start buying in. So hopefully he makes another deposit next week.
360 really trying to have your back. They said we were at the game, yes, wearing shades. It was light out, but the lights are super bright. Wear the shades. You know what, 360? You're on Diva Watch.
Need to point out, just got a text from Zach Davies, who engineers the postgame. Another person who was at the stadium last night also said sunglasses are needed.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
For that diva engineer, Zach?
Yeah, Zach Davies.
Zach Davies,
engineer.
That's the last. I wouldn't describe him as a diva.
I would say he's the biggest diva I know outside of Jackson Smith and Jigba. Zaxxon, that's what I call him.
ZD. That's my guy.
It stands for Zach Davies and also Zach Diva. That's exactly what it stands for. I'm tired of these divas chiming in when I have other takeaways. Let me get going to my next one.
What you got?
I love having a fullback on this squad. When Clint Kubiak was brought here, one of his early press conferences, they did not have a fullback on the roster, and he was asked about a fullback, and he just said yes. So we were wondering, well, are they going to take one in the draft? Or are we going to look at maybe a converted running back or a tight end from free agency? What are we looking at here? They brought in Robbie Oots. We interviewed Robbie Oots, got a chance to talk to him at camp, and I loved his performance. I was just really excited to see not just the use of a fullback in general, but the use of one so effectively.
Yeah, I think the effect of a fullback, it holds linebackers accountable. If you look at that touchdown run by Halani, initially it wasn't called a touchdown. They looked at it, got it right. All right, you got Freddie Oots hitting the B or the C gap, and that linebacker has to commit. He's got to bounce up. So then Halani just follows him, and then there's nothing there. He bounces it outside. Without a fullback, right now you're counting on your linebackers to climb and get to that linebacker. It can happen, but it's easier when you got a big body Oots getting into the gap and forcing that linebacker to come up. It allows the running back to move more freely, more space to work with those condensed formations.
Yep.
I love the effect of Oots out there.
What's next?
Horton. I mean, we've been talking about him all day, right?
Worth
but
it again.
There's no way we can't go another segment and not talk about this guy. He looked like a veteran receiver out there, and just the little things that he was doing, catching the football, snapping, getting the field right now, being sharp at the top of his routes, and then his punt return game. I didn't realize he had that in him. Caught a punt return. I told Brian Walters, he was sitting next to me, that was like one of the most exciting 6-yard returns I've seen, because he spun, made a guy miss, made another guy miss, and got a field. A possession first, he looks comfortable catching the football, but it's the run after the catch. That's how he's going to get on the field early, I think. One more thing, there's this promotion going on with McDonald's, and they said if the opposing team misses a field goal, you get a free snack wrap with a $2 purchase. Does a blocked field goal count?
Yes.
You need to figure this out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a miss.
If McDonald's tries to say
I
it
feel like
doesn't,
they might do some shady stuff.
some
And be
diva
like,
stuff?
technically,
Yeah.
it was blocked. He didn't miss it on his
That's
own.
diva
So
behavior.
y'all go to McDonald's and check this thing out. You got to do it today, though.
someone please, if anyone is there or went, can they text us and let us know if it's still, there's no way that wouldn't count.
That'd be shady.
I'm bringing up the app right now.
Okay, good.
I've got a 4 and a 2-year-old, so I've got the McDonald's app handy.
Go get
at
it.
all times.
I really, really loved that Horton was able to transfer so much of what he's been doing well in camp to the field. And important to know also, as you have, that they were playing some of these starters. So it's not just, oh, Horton's looking good against number 3 and 4 guys. It's, oh, Horton's looking great and Max Crosby's still on the field. Curtis, did you find it?
It's there. It's
Nice.
there.
Let's go. Let's go. Got to go through the app, folks, okay? Go to your McDonald's, buy something for $2, you get a snack wrap.
The snack wrap is the one that is the chicken wrapped up in the tortilla with the lettuce, and it's good.
I haven't had snack wraps
It's
since
got
back
kind
in
of
the
a
day.
cult following.
I'm going to be
It's
honest,
like the
I've had
McRib.
McDonald's probably 5 times in my life. There wasn't one near me.
Back in the day, I used to
Snack wrap.
kill a snack wrap.
Maybe, well, I think I know what you got to do after work.
Is it
today.
time? I don't know. I don't eat McDonald's, but I might just for the purpose of the snack wrap.
Yeah, exactly. I have another one here. Let's go. This has absolutely nothing to. Now, I had other stuff here. Like, I really loved what I saw from the young guys. Even Warrior looked great as that third safety on the field in nickel packages. Over the middle, 10 yards to Arroyo to convert for that first down. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Instead, I'm going to look on the other side of the field because I keep forgetting that Jamal is with Vegas, and I'm not going to lie. Jamal looked good.
He made a couple plays, man.
He made a couple of those plays. And I've got this, like, I don't even want to describe it as a love-hate relationship with Jamal Adams. I would say a stubborn belief that he was more talented than his injuries let him be here.
Yeah.
That this trade was not one that was like absolutely awful. It backfired because he was a bust. It's that he couldn't stay on the field, but when he was a difference maker. And it's really just kind of bad luck. It's bad luck that it didn't work out here in Seattle. So good for him.
He made a couple plays. I believe he had a TFL or close to a TFL, and it was on the sideline towards the Seahawks sideline. No TFL register, but he did have 3 tackles. And he did what Jamal does. He got up hype. He looked at the sideline, reminded folks that, look, I'm still here. I really hope he has success over here with the Raiders. We felt like this move should have happened a long time ago, him shifting the linebacker just because of his capabilities. Like, he's an old school type of safety. Those guys now are walking down the box and taking on these linebackers and running backs or whatnot. So good for Jamal. I'm happy that he made a couple plays, and hopefully he can stay healthy.
Someone's claiming, I grew up and went to school in SeaTac, they're claiming there's a McDonald's down the street. That's fake news. When I lived there my whole life.
Yeah, I don't know where. Oh, there is one.
If it is, it's new. Like in the last 10 years. I obviously haven't lived there
it's
since
close
2011,
to the
2010.
Angle Lake train station.
Well, it was not there when I was growing
Right.
up. We had a Taco Bell, we had a Jack in the Box, and that's it. And a Wendy's. Not a Wendy's, and a Denny's. So that's fake news, and you guys are spreading misinformation, and I'm adding you to the Diva campaign.
Everyone's added to the Diva campaign.
I'm going to get
Just
Diva Watch.
disagree with
First
whatever
of all,
she says.
You're on Diva Watch today, and it's not even for disagreeing. It's for wearing your sunglasses inside. And you know what else puts you on Diva Watch that
What's that?
you told on yourself? The fact that Isaiah buzzes you in so you don't have to use your key card.
I said he buzzed me in sometimes.
That's diva behavior.
Is it? If he does it without me asking,
But that's
what
also
does
diva.
that have to do
Sometimes
with
diva
me?
behavior is things that are done to you and not necessarily things you demand. It's just
I
things
don't know
that as a
about that.
diva and as a diva
I
lifestyle,
don't know
you kind
about
of
that.
have,
You know
what I mean?
I think that is treating people with respect and kindness behavior. Therefore,
I don't get buzzed in.
they help you out when you're walking up to the door.
I think that you're a celebrity and you don't want to admit it.
Nah, I just know Isaiah. We've known him, what, he's what, 2-3 years now he's worked here?
I don't know about
my guy.
Alex from the 425 text in saying the McDonald's by the Doubletree in SeaTac. I don't think there's one by the Doubletree.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Doubletree used to be the Red Lion,
I
right?
have lived
Yeah.
there I don't anymore. I lived there my entire life. There was not
I'm
a
looking at
McDonald's.
the map right now. There's a Denny's, there's a Jack in the Crack, there's a Taco Bell.
If there's one in the airport, maybe that's what you're thinking of. I
There's
am
definitely
telling
a McDonald's
you
in
to
the
your
airport.
face, there was not a McDonald's there for my entire life, and I would be shocked if there's one there now.
See, these are the important things in life. Where is the McDonald's? Not the Seahawks, not the Mariners. Where is the McDonald's in SeaTac?
Are you talking about Tukwila? That's not SeaTac. You better recognize where SeaTac is.
206 says it was torn down in 2008.
It
That's a
was
long
never
time ago.
there.
That's 17 years
It was
ago
never
now.
there. There was not a McDonald's in SeaTac. You guys are gaslighting me. This is frankly sexist.
So tired of that word.
Gaslighting?
Yes.
But gaslighting's real.
I'm so tired of it. The dang
You think-
Instagram.
I don't think you're tired of it.
Gaslighting.
I don't think you're tired of it.
Gaslighting.
You're not tired of it.
No. Is it my turn or is it your
Do
turn?
you have another one? I'm out. I'm
you're
done.
done?
Yeah. Do you
All
have another
right.
one?
All right, let's do it.
Okay, we got one more.
All right, what caught my eye? I love the chaos created by the defensive line. I don't think they had too many sacks, but there were plenty of times when O'Connell was just moving around trying to make things happen. Only one sack, and it feels like O'Connell. Oh, I know what it was. Who was it? Tyreek Smith was so close to getting a couple of sacks, and this is a guy who's fighting to make this ball club. But I like how O'Connell never really felt comfortable back there. I was surprised how many times he was in shotgun, but the defensive line kept getting some type of pressure on him. Never really felt comfy. Only one sack. It felt like he had like 3, or the team had 3 or 4. That wasn't the case, but I just like the activity by that defensive line.
You know what I love is leaving a preseason game, and I know it doesn't matter. The score was tied in the end, but I felt good about so much of what I saw. And granted, let's say that you leave and you feel bad. You still walk away going, well, it's preseason.
Yeah.
None of it matters. Like, if they had a horrible performance, we'd probably still be in here going, well, I think I can find the silver lining.
Yeah.
But I really do love how easy it is to just think, God, I really liked that series. And I liked what I saw here.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? And everybody won.
And
everyone had fun.
Everyone had fun.
Everybody won. No one lost.
Bumps got a few more takeaways, some X's and O's stuff, especially about Jalen Milroe coming up at 1:15 with 4 down territory. Right now, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, thanks to Dom Canzone's walk-off, the Mariners were able to sweep the White Sox. What's the real headline?
It was never in doubt. It was never in doubt. I knew that it was possible. I don't know about you guys, but I knew this one was coming.
No, I'm just glad they struggled through it. You know, when you're going to go on a championship run or potential championship run, you want to be in the mix, you got to win some tough games. They're going to be ugly. You got to get lucky sometimes. And the White Sox haven't been that bad as of late. They're playing around 500 balls. Should you beat this team? Yeah. Did I expect a sweep, especially after the first game? For sure. But this builds character, right? And good for Canzone getting his first walk-off and just struggle through it, man. You have to have some struggle to have some success. Let's not make this a regular thing against teams like this, but a sweep is a sweep.
Oh, I found the answer to the McDonald's conundrum that we're in.
Okay.
I think it's just a geography issue. It's everyone thinking that Tukwila is SeaTac.
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
They are not the same.
They're
No,
not.
but there is, I think that when people get anywhere close to the airport, they're like, oh, this is for sure SeaTac. And I think that there is this kind of like in-between gray area with SeaTac and some surrounding areas, whether it's Burien, Tukwila, whatever else. So it's in one of those gray areas. SeaTac proper does not have a McDonald's. I'm done. I promise not to talk about this anymore. No one is interested in this except for me and 5 people from SeaTac on the text line.
People on the text lines going in.
This is a big local argument is what's happening right now. What's next?
Headline rewrites.
Headline 2, Micah Parsons missed Cowboys practice on Thursday for the first time since issuing his trade request. What's the real headline?
This is bad news in every world except for Jerry's, where any news is great news.
Yeah, man, it's look, if this is true, if Jerry is really just using this thing to provide or to get more publicity for the Cowboys, like they need the most the most expensive sports franchise in the world, Craig, he's absolutely doing a great job of doing that. But I think that if this is the case, he's risking a relationship with Micah Parsons. So what's it really worth, Jerry? I hope that this isn't true. I hope that you're just being stubborn. I hope you're just a stubborn old man who doesn't want to give this dude money and wants to do it on your time rather than using this as a publicity stunt, because I don't think it's going to be worth it. Because Micah Parsons is the type of guy to get on social media, get on this podcast, and blast everything that is happening in that building if things don't work out. Even if they do work out and you have a bad relationship, it just doesn't feel right to me.
Yep.
But pay the man. You should never let him walk. He's one of the best in the game.
Next up.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, Anthony Richardson left Indy's preseason opener with a dislocated finger. He's not expected to miss any time, though. What's the real headline?
Just what a quarterback with accuracy issue needs. A messed up finger on his throwing hand.
Yeah, that's all bad. He just can't stay healthy, unfortunately. And there's some people who are just like this, just can't stay healthy. And like I said, I think Danny Dimes is going to win that job. And Anthony Richardson should have been a number 2 to begin with. A guy completing 58% of his passes in college. You should not expect to get to the league and miraculously change the way that he's been over the past few years. I saw his high school stats too. He was only completing 50-something% in high school as well. People have been falling in love with his athleticism from day one, which I get. But he needs to be developed. Develop these quarterbacks. Some guys are ready to go. You need to take the Arch Manning approach. He's going to stay in college for at least 2 more years, develop, get his mind right, understand the game, and then set yourself up for success in the pros. I think Anthony Richardson should sit and learn from Danny Dimes, which is crazy. I'm even saying sit and learn from Danny Dimes. Crazy.
You know what's interesting about Anthony Richardson is it's one thing when several days ago we were talking about Cam Ward and expectations in Tennessee and, why isn't there as much hype about Cam? Is it because of his background as a 0-star recruit? Is it because it was such a weak class? This was not a weak quarterback class per se. You had quarterbacks go at 1, 3, or 2. I can't remember if Anderson or Stroud was 2 or 3. But you had Young, Stroud, And then it was, is it going to be Anthony Richardson? Is it going to be Will Levis? Will Levis ended up going much later, but like this was not something where Anthony's drafted because there was no one else. Like you took a guy that was absolutely positively a project because you saw something that made you so confident you could figure it out. And I want to know what they saw. Now they've admitted like we shouldn't have started him. We shouldn't have put him.
They saw him toss the ball 75 yards.
Yeah. God-given strength and speed, and just thought like if we could tap into that.
They saw him do a backflip.
He is crazy athletic.
He's an athlete, man.
But a lot more to being a quarterback, obviously. Our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Still to come, it's pretty Seahawks heavy for the rest of the day, though we do have the farm report coming up at 1:30 with Arkansas Travelers manager Ryan Scott, asking him some questions about some of these top prospects, what it's like going through different levels in the minors. He did work a little bit with Cole Young in 2023, so asking him also about what he sees from Young now with the big league club. What I need to know, taking your questions anytime leading up to 1:45, so you can get those in now if you want. 866-979-3776.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music of the year.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by The Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Hey, what's up? It's Michael Bumpus here for Silver Reef Casino. You got nothing to do this weekend. Get on I-5, you go north, get off exit 260, and that's where you will find Silver Reef Casino. It's a great place to get away, recharge, get your mind right, relax. Once you get there, get one of their comfortable rooms. They're spacious. They got free Wi-Fi, and they have tablets as well. They also have great restaurants. Go downstairs, visit the steakhouse. Had a steak there. It was great. Go to the cantina if you want some real Mexican food. And now it's time to watch some sports. Go to Portis Bay Sports Bar. The vibes are good. The drinks are cold, and the people are friendly. My golfers, they got you covered too. Loomis Trails Golf Course is near 18 holes with water almost everywhere. I hope your driver is working for you. And also this month, they got promotions. You can win $10,000 every Saturday this month with a grand prize of $50,000. They got great events coming up. If you want to check that out, go to silverreefcasino.com. Silver Reef Casino Resort. It's not a secret anymore.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with some great news. I'm with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, you guys just increased your community coverage.
That's right, Brock. We like to say we're in your neighborhood. We have you covered here at IRG. We just added 2 fantastic locations. One is in Harbor Square in the Edmonds Bowl, and the other one is in the Mill Creek Town Center, right to the entrance to Mill Creek Town Center. So we'll be able to provide fantastic care to all of us and everybody's neighborhood.
You know I love it. Expert physical and hand therapy right in your neighborhood.
That's right. We're in your neighborhood. We want to be your neighborhood family physical therapist. We'll take care of you, your family, and your neighbor.
And remember, no referral needed. Just personalized care when and where you need it. Visit irgpt.com and schedule your appointment today. With over 40 convenient locations, IRG is right in your neighborhood, and now 2 new spots as well. That's irgpt.com, irgpt.com.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Step back into automotive history at LeMay, America's Car Museum. The current exhibit, Rare and Luxurious, features 100 years of exceptional automobiles, including stunning classics to beauties worth millions. Feel the thrill of driving a Formula One car on the exhilarating racing simulators and lunch in the cafe. It's a must activity for out-of-town guests, friends, and families. Plan your visit at americascarmuseum.org. Open Thursday through Monday. Visit americascarmuseum.org today.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Juice box. I'm a mom.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check. Oh, hot sauce. Take it.
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins, a balloon. Wait one sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 per month on Experience Beyond. Finance agreement $829.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay out via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Taking a look around the NFL, we're going to start here in Seattle. Pete Carroll spoke post-game about his first time back in the Emerald City. First, he was asked if he got sentimental.
I'm sorry to tell you that it wasn't like it was something, obvious. It was a football game, and I've been fighting wars for other people my whole life, coaching. And so I was with my team, and we were battling, and it was cool to be here. I loved it here. I've always loved the whole, the whole experience that we had here, all those years together and all of that. And I don't forget that, and I don't disrespect that one bit. But it didn't translate to something crazy to me. It was just an opportunity to play in a great setting. And thanks to the league for putting us in this game when they figured it out. It was a good idea. And it's been a good one to look forward to, and I thought we handled it all right. I just wish we would have played better.
No tears for Pete Carroll in this one, Bump.
Nah, man, he's been around the block several times, and I think when Pete left, I know some people might have been, felt some kind of way, but felt like it was time, and I think even Pete felt like it was time. So, no, he's off to a new journey, a new venture. He said hello. I saw pictures with him with Reek and Spoon and all that good stuff. It's okay. Sometimes if you love them enough, you let them go. And that's exactly what happened right here. Set him free. Now he's in Vegas, and he's focused on the mission at hand. He has no time for the sadness. There was sadness at that press conference when it was time to go.
Yeah.
That was year and a half, 2 years ago. It's time to move on now.
Also, it's just he was, again, just a demon coming back. Like he was just, he decided to be mischievous instead of being sad, which was really, really funny. I was going to have this for what caught my eye but didn't, but a tweet from John Boyle. As he jogged off the field a few minutes ago, Pete Carroll made a slight detour so he could knock the ball off Jason Myers' kicking tee, then ran away laughing.
He was he was that kid you see at the store that's acting up and the parents do absolutely nothing. You're looking at him like, are you going to get your kid? He better not come this way.
That's exactly
Here's the thing about
what
me.
it is.
If kids are acting up and they're messing with what I'm going, I'm not afraid to be like, hey, stop.
Have you ever done that to someone else's kid and
Heck
you didn't know that
yeah.
person?
Yes,
What was
stop.
their reaction?
What are you doing?
Well, what was the kid doing
Oh,
and
I'm
what did the
sorry,
parent
I'm sorry. Like just kicking up my basket or something or messing with something. Like, hey, stop. And then like, oh, snaps. And the parents like, oh, I'm sorry. It's like, discipline your dang kid. What's going on?
I think it's, I wonder if there's ever been anyone to get like angry. And it's like, if your kid is acting crazy and it's in any way interfering with me, I don't go like, hey.
Yeah, I get them, or I'll hit them with the stare from distance, just the glare. Like, yeah, you better stop.
Pete later did admit he caught himself watching the wrong team a few times.
Only that there was a couple times when guys made plays, and I'm looking at the screen at the end in the end zone, and I thought that was our guys making the play. That did happen a couple times.
I love the idea of Pete going, there you go, Drew.
Good throw.
Yeah, I liked it. Oh, wait a minute. I liked that from Pete Carroll. Geno Smith was also asked about the warm reception he received.
It means everything to me. We all know about the 12s and how special they are. And, they're a big part of, why the Seahawks are, a really good team. And so, for me, just to be embraced by the fans, to see, some of the children from the Children's Hospital that, I went and visited and, their parents, and just to, sign some autographs, shake some hands. I mean, it's always fun when you can go back to a place that, you loved. And, I thought it was really good for me, and it was a great experience.
A warm reception for Geno.
This is so Geno. Before the game, he flipped the bird. After the game, he says all the right things.
He gave him the double bird.
But he gave the double bird to, I think, that one fan
Yeah.
that had the sign.
Yeah.
Which, first of all, the troll job by that fan was not good.
Hey, only a few quarterbacks in this league would do that. A lot of quarterbacks will look at it and be like, whatever. Geno's like,
AI.
nah, I'm giving you my attention,
Both
my energy
hands.
right now. I'm going to go play my series, but after the game, I'm going to say all the right things.
It was, yeah, you're right. That was very Geno.
That was
Both
Geno to the
hands is
fullest.
crazy.
Yeah, he meant that.
The double bird. Just days after signing a 4-year, $113 million contract extension, Chargers left tackle Rashawn Slater will miss the season with a torn patellar tendon. ESPN's Damian Woody spoke on the impact his loss will have on the Chargers.
Devastating. Rashawn Slater is one of the best tackles, best offensive linemen that we have in our game, young, and the fact that we know what Jim Harbaugh wants to do. Jim Harbaugh wants to establish the line of scrimmage and run the football. Jim Harbaugh is the same coach that called offensive linemen offensive weapons. That's what he think of us big boys. So when one of your best players on the team is now out for the season, that's a huge blow for the Chargers.
Brutal news.
Yeah, that's tough, man. But this proves ownership right and players right. Ownership, they're hesitant to pay these players these big contracts because they might get hurt. Players are hesitant to participate in practice and all that stuff without long contracts because you might get hurt. This proves both sides right. It's unfortunate for the Chargers and what they're trying to do over there. Just signed Keenan Allen. I think that's a classy move to bring him back. I like what they're doing over there. They want to run the football. That's what Harbaugh is all about. Yeah, this is devastating.
I think things like this also just serve as a constant reminder. And there was a Ravens rookie corner who was hurt, coned the other day in the end zone. It's just how absolutely brutal and physical that this game is. And I know that, to your point, naturally a lot of fans and owners and teams will be like, oh, I don't want this guy to get hurt, so I'm so scared. And it's like, it also takes a type of person to come in and succeed, to come in and play this game. It is brutal.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Drew Brees will get another shot at calling NFL games this year, and he's not lacking for confidence.
I look at the landscape right now. Man, I have so much respect for a lot of guys in the booth right now, but I'd step in the booth right now and be a top 3 guy, like without question. And then you give me a few years and I could be the best. So look, I love the game. I love talking about the game. I feel like I have an insight to the game that is pretty unique, given my playing experience. I see the game a totally different way. I process it a different way. And so even as I watch games now and I just kind of listen to, the commentary and this and that and what I'm seeing, I just feel like there's so much more to add. And so, look, at the end of the day, I'm going to wait for the right opportunity. And, hopefully it comes along. And if it doesn't, that's okay too, because I'm coaching ball and I'm involved in the game in so many other ways. But I do feel like I have a ton of value to add in the booth. And so I'm appreciative of Netflix giving me the opportunity to broadcast on Christmas Day. And I'm not sure exactly which game that's going to be. There's 2 on the slate, but that'll be a lot of fun.
I think the Christmas Day games are going to be great. What do you think about Drew's comments?
I think any quarterback of Drew's status has an opportunity to be really good because they just see the game differently. I love watching film with quarterbacks and even with Mike linebackers too. Love talking ball with Lofa. You want to have a great conversation about football and nerd out, Lofa's going to be your guy. I just want to see his personality. That's something that I think is underrated with Drew Brees. If you see clips of him bringing up the team in the huddles and stuff, like he connects with people. The first time around, I felt like he didn't really connect. And I can kind of understand where he's coming from because the first time I was on air or on TV, it's hard just to be yourself because you're thinking, I need to sound like this, I need to look like that. Just be yourself and spit that knowledge and you'll be fine. I think he has the opportunity to be one of the best, yeah.
I'm really eager to see it. Because I think you're right. When you can have, you don't want to have like, I'm the biggest personality on the planet, I make it about myself. Like, it still should be about your analysis and the way you see things. But there's like an ease with which some of the best color commentary guys talk, and it makes for really easy listening. Let's get to one more story here. First-round pick Jackson Dart enters the preseason as the third-string quarterback on the Giants' depth chart behind Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. He describes his approach to the preseason.
I'm just focused on being prepared. Obviously, I'm going to go out there on the field and compete at that, my highest level, and I'm going to play as hard as I can. And I'm going to do good things, and I'm going to make mistakes too. And I understand that. I'm not going to be perfect when I step out there on that field, but I think my mindset is just competing at the highest level, doing what I can to, make this offense operate at the highest level and, get these chances for the coaches to learn how I play the game because, obviously we're out in practice, we can't get tackled. It's a little different. So it'll be good to get these live action reps and earn that trust.
How much of Jackson Dart will we see this year?
I think by the last...
Don't you dare.
4-5 games of the season, he'll be the guy. I think they'll be out of contention. I hope he's not the guy because that means they're out of contention and Russell's not playing well. I hope Russell plays well. I'm really rooting for him and Jameis Winston if he gets an opportunity. But the future is Jackson Dart. And if you get to a point of the season where it's a wrap, y'all ain't making the playoffs, you might as well go ahead and let that young man go. And hopefully he's been taking good notes and been learning throughout the season. As I pull up their schedule, they open up Commanders, Dallas, Kansas City, Chargers. That's going to be a tough one. There's a stretch where they go Philly, Denver, Philly, San Francisco. That's going to be tough. Then they end the season with Chicago, Green Bay, Detroit, New England. I'm going to go out there and say they got one of the tougher schedules in the NFL this year.
I agree. Philosophical question in our last minute here. If you were the Giants head coach or Giants brass, let's say decision makers, and you are out of the playoffs, you know that you are not making the playoffs, but let's say it was like your defense was injury riddled. Like Russ has been having a really solid season. You know that Russ isn't the future of your organization, but can win you games. But you know he's not the future of your organization. Do you let him hang on to that job? If he's been doing his job and performing, you're out of the playoffs. So let's say you do have about 4 games left to play. Or do you go with Jackson? So do you reward a veteran who's been doing his job and performing, or do you test out your young guy knowing that all you're playing for at this point is trying to get a higher draft pick?
That's what jacked him up, or jacked Houston up, right? Winning ball games late in the season. That's a good question. I think that because you've only signed Russell to a 1-year contract, you're going to get rid of him anyway. He's there just for a year, allow Jackson to develop. I'm going to go ahead and play Jackson. I think it's important that he gets those reps at the end of the year. I'd play Jackson.
All right, get your questions in for What I Need to Know coming your way at 145-866-979-3776. Coming up in 20, Seahawks radio analyst Bryan Walters.
Coming off a sweep of the White Sox.
A walk-off base hit for Dom Canzone.
And winners of 6 of their last 7 games. The Mariners can smell first place.
Ooh, that smell. This was a phenomenal homestand.
Yeah, I think that's confidence building.
The push to the playoffs continues tonight at T-Mobile Park. Mariners, Rays. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Americans may not agree on much, but we agree on Social Security. We all pay in. It ought to be there when we need it. Social Security could face a funding gap in less than a decade, and I don't want to see a pay cut. I'm with AARP in the fight to protect the Social Security we earned.
Pledge to protect Social Security at aarp.org/weearnedit. That's aarp.org/weearnedit. Paid for by AARP.
Do you find yourself searching the medicine cabinet for pills and sprays during allergy season? How about having to buy one more medication when the season hits? I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. We offer a solution that will save you time, money, and frustration. Ryanair is a simple, minimally invasive procedure that significantly reduces postnasal drip and stuffiness. We're taking new patients in Federal Way and in Auburn. Come see us. Book your appointment at sternsinus.com.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yeah, the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Windows are a home's top target for break-ins. At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer added security with our exclusive 3-layer security glass protection. Combined with our lifetime warranty, you'll have lifetime peace of mind. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Beat rising costs at Lake Washington Windows and Doors. For a limited time, get a 20% inflation discount and enjoy easy 18-month free financing with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest. Details at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Roof now, pay later. No payments until 2027. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Since 1968, we've helped homeowners just like you get beautiful, durable roofs without breaking the bank. Book today and lock in summer pricing before it's too late. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Seattle Sports clipped you talking about what we saw from Clint Kubiak's offense with the Raiders, and I think it's interesting they didn't clip me talking about Jackson being a diva because I think that they're covering up. I think there's a cover up.
Why would they want to start all that drama?
There's a cover up going on. But again, I'm getting to I'm basically the Boston Globe right now, and I'm going to be tracking all season long. Okay. The number one diva behavior in this game was who? And then I'm going to have an answer each week. And right now it's Jackson.
Number one diva behavior.
Yeah.
I feel like diva behavior is going to be more prevalent during preseason. That's when guys are on the sidelines and they're chilling. I think during the season, you still get diva behavior.
I think we're going to get diva behavior.
But it's not, I mean, it's like in-game diva behavior. It's not like sidelines, look at me type diva behavior.
See, the thing about recognizing and calling out diva behavior is you got to be creative with your approach because sometimes diva behavior is sneaky. You know?
Well, I'm looking forward to your diva behavior list.
We are going to get back to the Seahawks coming up at 1 with Seahawks radio analyst Bryan Walters. Excited to talk to B-Walt about a lot of his takeaways from the first preseason game. Before we get to it, Bump, nothing but opportunity lying ahead for the Mariners this weekend. There's a chance, there's a world wherein the Mariners are in first place on Monday. You've got 3 games here against the Rays. The Houston Astros are taking on the Yankees, who I know in Yankee land, people are talking about how everything's going to, you know what, and they're very, very upset. It's not a great place to be, but it's still a tough team. Aaron Judge is back. If you take care of business here in Seattle, for once, you have an opportunity to play some games when the Houston Astros aren't playing like the Rockies. It's a nice twist here. So we can go a couple different directions here. Namely, I want to know some of the things you're watching for this weekend, but also some of your thoughts on just kind of like what it would mean to make up ground there.
Well, obviously, I'm looking. I'm going to be looking at the game at 4:05, Houston at New York. That's going to be a good one there. But first things first, I'm hoping that Naylor's okay. I'm hoping that is not a big deal. If some news have broken since we've been on air, let me know. But I'm hoping that it's just something he's day-to-day, which he is listed as, and he'll be back here fairly shortly because he's been playing some good ball, especially as of late. I believe in this month, or overall, he's high 200s in his average. I think 800s or something OPS. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you look at his slash, he's doing some good things, and he's brought something to this team that no one has brought to this team in the last 5-6 seasons. And I'm just saying 5-6 because that's as far as my brain's going to take me right now. It could be 10-15.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. But first and foremost, I hope that he is okay. And then I'm looking forward to seeing how they bounce back after a mediocre win, right? It wasn't a great win. We take wins however we can, but a mediocre win. Who is on the mound for these guys? Luis Castillo is going to be on the mound. And Luis has been sneaky, quietly having a good second half. I mean, we were concerned towards the first half of the season. Didn't have the velo and the control that we're used to having, but as of late, he's been playing some decent ball. My focus now for the rest of the season, obviously, is going to be on the full team, but just the rotation, and then when is Bryce Miller going to be called up to help this squad? The rotation is everything right now, because I believe that no matter who's hot or who's cold with this lineup, they're going to be capable of beating anybody. But if you're giving up, bombs and your starter's only going 3 or 4 innings and you're stressing out the bullpen and asking Vargas and Bazardo to be the heroes, it's going to make for a long, stressful season. I
said that there was nothing but opportunity lying ahead for the Mariners here. That's not me saying these aren't going to be some tough pitching matchups or there isn't going to be, some tough wins ahead here against the Rays. Drew Rasmussen going tonight for Tampa Bay against Castillo. Bryan Wu's going on Sunday against Adrian Hauser. And then you got Logan Evans going tomorrow. So I did those in opposite order. But you've got Castillo, Logan Evans, Bryan Wu. So you've got, some great opportunities. You usually feel pretty good with whoever you have on the mound, even if pitching isn't what it was for this year, for Seattle, as it was last year. But again, opportunities here with an offense that's been raking. I know Naylor is day-to-day. You mentioned, we'll wait for an update on him and see where he is. But neither of us certainly expecting him there tonight. But a real opportunity here if you take care of business and let's say the Yankees do as well. Maybe you find yourself rooting for the Yankees. Curtis, you framed it as no matter what, you either win and make up ground in the division or win and make up ground in the wild card?
Yeah, you're going to put more space between you and the Yankees if the Astros win that series and if you take care of business against the Rays. Or you can catch and pass the Astros if the Yankees somehow get into gear this weekend and sweep the Astros or take 2 of 3 from them. So, like, you've got opportunities to make up some serious ground this weekend in not just one race, but potentially 2. So you're going to have an eye on that series for sure, also in addition to what you got to do against Tampa.
You know what I'd really love to see with Naylor out of the lineup? I'd love to see Cal continue to string together some good ABs. We had Ryan Divish on with us who said, look, I know that he's in a slump, and that happens, and that's normal, and that's just going to be part of the story for a lot of players. He mentioned Ohtani having been in one, Pete Crow-Armstrong having been in one already. Like, it just happens, even to the league's best. But that his last couple games had better moments. I hope we see that. I hope we get home run number 43 in this series. And 44. That'd be cool, but definitely 43.
Has your number changed with Cal as far as his home runs, right?
Mm-hmm.
This stretch has knocked me down. I was around 55, I believe. Now I'm begging for 50 at this point. But I'd rather have him put the ball in play and just find his groove, stay healthy, and just look like the guy, somewhat like the guy that we know. Because remember when Polanco was going crazy? We're like, there's no way he's going to keep this up for the duration of the season. Obviously, he hasn't. The same thing with Cal. I'm watching Cal do his thing, and I even want to put it out there into the universe, the atmosphere, but I'm like, there's no way he can continue to hit double-digit bombs every single month throughout the season, and it's finally caught up to him. So now it's just get back to the basics, the fundamentals. Don't have to hit bombs every time you're up there, even though that's his MO, that's his swing, right? He's going to K a lot and hit bombs, but I'd like to see him just level the swing out, put it in play, find your groove.
From the text line, someone said the Astros are kind of in the situation the Mariners were in the last couple years, leading the division, then crumbling to let us catch up. Lately, we've been looking so good, and then collapsing and letting the Astros run away with it. Maybe the roles have reversed. Maybe. I also think that what I really appreciate about Seattle catching up and making up ground is that it is not – the Astros are not having some collapse that the Mariners did when they gave up that 10-game lead in 24 games, which was the fastest that kind of lead had ever been surrendered.
Right.
The Astros are injury-riddled. They are going to get some guys back. It is going to be tougher. The Mariners also have gotten hotter than they were. And that really started with coming out of being swept by the Yankees. We felt horrible after that series. And we're like, oh, my God, you're swept by the Yankees. You're carrying, by the way, a no-hitter into like the 8th or something. And then they sweep the Tigers. Cal wins the home run derby. You come out, you're still winning. You take a series from the Astros. Like, that's really a turning point for Seattle.
Yeah, and it's nice to be on the other end of this thing. You're the one applying the pressure rather than sitting there watching your lineup have failure after failure and watching the Astros do what they do, which is keep ascending. Now, Yordan Alvarez is supposed to come back pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
How effective is he going to be? I just expect him to be the regular Yordan until he proves me wrong or proves otherwise. So it's important that you keep on the run you're on. You won, 7 out of their last 10 games. Probably the second hottest team in the game right now, I believe. Boston has won 8 of their last 10.
Boston's been crazy.
Yeah, Boston's been going nuts. So just keep up. Keep up the good vibes. Just keep winning series. That's all it's about. I know a sweep would be nice, but if you keep winning series, you should be fine. 2
fun guests in the final hour here. The Farm Report, learning a bit more about these top prospects from Arkansas Travelers. Manager Ryan Scott coming up at 1:30. Before then, Seahawks radio analyst Bryan Walters. He joins us next.
Coming off a sweep of the White Sox.
A walk-off base hit for Dom Canzone.
And winners of 6 of their last 7 games. The Mariners can smell first place.
Ooh, that smell. This was a phenomenal homestand.
Yeah, I think that's confidence building.
The push to the playoffs continues tonight at T-Mobile Park. Mariners, Rays. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. Summer is here, and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors, expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy-efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates, and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635. Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Contractors and heavy equipment operators, get ready. The James D. Murphy Auction Company presents one of the biggest heavy equipment auctions of the summer. On the auction block, we've got 13 excavators, including a 2018 Komatsu PC 238 US LC-11, a 2015 Komatsu PC 138, and a CAT 308 mini excavator. Also up for auction, a 2020 Komatsu WA 270-8 wheel loader, a 2017 John Deere 317G skid steer, 2 backhoes, and 3 rollers. Looking for trucks? Choose from over 100 options, including a 2017 Kenworth T880 with a wet kit and 4 Vector trucks. And if you're in need of contractor's equipment, we've got a massive assortment for you to choose from. Bidding is underway now and starts closing at 10 a.m. August 14th. And don't miss your chance to preview all items August 12th through the 13th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our Marysville location. For more information, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners open a series against the Rays tonight. Luis Castillo on the mound against Drew Rasmussen. Meanwhile, the Houston Astros taking on the Yankees in the Bronx. Mariners currently 1.5 back of Houston in the AL West.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. All right, what I need to know coming your way at 45 after. Get your questions in, 866-979-3776. I got my eye on the text line, so you can send them in anytime. Sometimes questions pop up a lot during interviews. Maybe someone has a question that we didn't get a chance to ask our guests. We're about to be joined here by Bryan Walters, and they want to say, like, oh, hey, what'd you think of, Robbie Oots? I want to hear more about the fullback. Or, Bump, I want to hear more about I don't know what you thought of Clint Kubiak's offense, but either way, you can get those in. Again, 866-979-3776. Let's talk about the Seahawks preseason game with Seahawks radio analyst Bryan Walters joining us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. B-Walt, how's it going?
What is going on? Hey, Bump, I got excited. I got a text from you. Hey, you want to be on the show? I said, great. I turned it on, see what the topic is for the day. You guys are talking about divas. And I'm like, this is Bump's trying to tell me something here. Thinking divas, and here I am. So thanks, Bump. Appreciate that, man.
You know why B-Walt is officially a diva?
Why?
Because he took a private plane to play golf in Eastern Washington and flew back the same day on a private plane, then made it to the show.
That
diva
is diva behavior.
Diva. He probably flew the plane himself.
Do you have anything to say for yourself?
Stacy, you too. Would you say no? Would you?
To you being a diva or to Bump being a diva? Both of you are diva wide receivers.
No, to flying on a plane to go play golf.
I'm a man of the people, B. Well, I would have walked there in my sneakers.
Someone said we'll fly you to one of the best courses in the state. 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back.
It's awesome.
It was fantastic.
All right, B. I need you to move because your connection is shaky right now.
Yeah, maybe you're still by the private jet. We might. Why don't we?
Hear me?
Oh, we can hear you now. Wait, say something, B-Walt.
Okay. I am saying something. Here I am.
Why don't we try? We're going to do this. Why don't we reconnect with B-Walt, call you back, and then we'll get you back in like 1 minute. So they're going to hang up and give you a quick call back, and we're going to see if that can fix it. This is diva behavior. Now that Bryan can't hear us, this is diva behavior. Don't you agree?
That he has no reception?
I think that divas, oh, he's back. Hey, Bryan.
I'm back. Can you hear me? Is this better?
It is much better. Thanks for letting us reset here. Okay, I'm going to start with a look at offense. It was by far the most popular question, the most popular takeaway. People were excited about Torrey. They were excited about the use of a fullback. They couldn't wait to see, what they could from Clint Kubiak's offense. So I'll start with a big question, and then we'll kind of poke and get some specific points here. But just your overall takeaways from what you saw offensively from Seattle yesterday.
It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch how many different looks, I guess, they gave. They gave, you had a fullback lining up in the backfield. You had old school 2 wide receiver sets with big men in the middle and a fullback, and then you had them spread it out and empty a little bit. I think they scored the touchdown to Torrey Horton on empty formation, just spread them out, and I think it was kind of quick outs all around. And it was just funny to see all the looks and how multidimensional the offense can be. And we started seeing how things kind of flow off of one another. There was a specific flow that you could tell that Kubiak was kind of setting up as the game went on, especially in the first half. I thought we saw a lot more with Drew Lock there as quarterback, kind of opening up a little bit, because you saw first off, you saw the initial couple runs with Helani and with the lead blocker, Oots, the fullback. And then you saw, let's play action this. Let's let Oots slip out into the flat. And he was uncovered, got a big gain there. And then you saw a little bit later, a little max protect with the fullback, 2 wide receiver routes. And that's when Derek Young had the big play. And so you kind of saw it all coming together. And let me tell you, you can't max protect and have 2 wide receivers on a route if the run game's not working and if the defense doesn't fear that run game. And that's exactly what happened when you break a couple runs. You can do that. And it was just kind of refreshing to see the offense kind of rolling and just kind of playing off of each other as far as the formation is concerned.
B, we didn't see a lot of Jalen Milroe, but I like what I saw. I think I saw a guy who has some work to do, but has a lot of potential. What did you see?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. You saw, I think we talked about it a ton yesterday. You saw probably the most athletic guy in the field. The way he could turn the corner, the way he can escape, the way he moves is pretty remarkable. And you see what the Seahawks saw in him. Now, his throwing ability is great. He's got a fantastic arm. He can make all the throws. Now it's a matter of where are you throwing the ball? How quickly are you processing where to throw it? How quickly are you processing defenses? And that's going to come. I think that's the raw part of him. And just that's the development. That's why we all think he's 1 or 2 years away from really making an impact on this team. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of package for him this season. If he is that quarterback that suits up as the number 2. I don't know what John Snyder and Coach McDonald are going to plan on doing with the quarterbacks. In recent years, you always suit 2 quarterbacks. That's it. That's what you do, and you don't really have a third. Maybe now they have the emergency. But this year might be a little different. You might see him suiting 3 quarterbacks on that 46-man team and have a couple packages to get Jalen the ball a little bit because he's so dynamic, and it's fun to have that weapon. It'd be tough to keep him off the field in that regards.
I sure hope that for pre and post the first couple weeks, you guys aren't talking about the offensive line in a bad way, because I think that's probably what everyone was stuck doing so often last year. I found that during the show over the weeks, Bump and I more often than not would just have every conversation come back to the offensive line. It makes sense. It's football. Everything really does come back down to the trenches. But I know fans are eager to see a step forward, some improvement there. What did you see from that group in particular?
Well, first off, did Drew Lock get sacked? I don't believe he did. I think in that first half, no sacks, and that's improvement. And there was a couple of times that he was standing back there with lots and lots of time, and that's improvement right there. And Stacy, did you know you have an offensive line expert right next to you, right there, in Michael Bumpus?
Gas me up,
B.
That?
Oh my goodness! In our post-game show, Paul Moyer asked him to break down some runs and how it all works. And I sat there as a wide receiver kind of like, wow, this is impressive that Bumpus knows how these wide zones and inside zones work. And I'm sitting there just worrying about, as a wideout, my guy, I'm MDM. I get a safety, I get a corner. But
you had to plan for the golf retreat, so your head was elsewhere.
Exactly. That's true. That's a good point. Anyway, sorry, I digress there. But offensive line, as much as I would love to say I focus in on them every play and all that. How I determine if an offensive line had a good game is if I don't have to talk about them, if I don't notice anything about them. And last night, I did notice a big push up front, the run game. It was awesome. It was fantastic. Like the start of that game, how they were gashing the Raiders early with the run game was incredible. Something we hadn't seen in the offensive line in a while, just pushing them back. And the Raiders started their guys. And that's what's kind of fun about it, is this was a couple of, we saw Gray in there. We saw Abe Lucas was even in there playing. But then other than that, it was some backups, offensive linemen, and they were still kind of pushing the Raiders around. And that's fun to see. So it's also encouraging that when you get your full on starting offensive line in there, that just to see what they can do.
How did you like the sequencing when it comes to Kubiak and the run game and the pass game? You talked about kind of the personnel, the formations, and all that good stuff. Did you think Kubiak did a good job for what it is, the first preseason game of the season, of putting the run and the pass together with the play action?
Yeah, 100%. I think that was the biggest thing for me, is how these plays all kind of look alike. And then you even threw in the screenplay in there. That was a huge play in the end. And I love the design of that screenplay. You had Torrey Horton kind of pulling the defense, kind of creating a diversion going all the way across the field, and then Helani was able to slip out of the backfield. And how many times in recent years have we seen, 2 or 3 offensive linemen leading the way with one guy, one defender in their way? And that was encouraging. Usually I feel like these screenplays aren't sneaking up on teams. And here it was like there was one Raider to beat, and Helani was able to get a big play. So all that kind of meshed together, and it is just fun because the defense is on its toes. Like once this defense starts to kind of stack the box and get in there and really try to focus on this run game and really cloud the middle, then boom, you hit them with the play action, sneak the fullback out of the backfield, and are able to get a huge play that way. And so it's just the defense is never – you're always having the defense guess, I guess, and you saw that a lot last night.
What keeps offense? I'm sure every single offensive coordinator and head coach enters the year going, we want to be able to have a lot of answers, and we want to be able to confuse guys. And obviously there are offenses that don't do it successfully. Bump and I earlier were talking about how maybe Grubb relied on matchups or, your pass weapons and wasn't stubborn enough with the run, whatever. You can pick apart a lot of things, but he's not the only offensive coordinator that struggled last year. You saw guys lose their jobs from a couple different teams. What do some offenses do so incredibly well outside of just having, I don't know, Josh Allen?
Well, for starters, it's being unpredictable. I think that's probably the big thing. And I think Grubb was very predictable. You kind of knew what was coming with him. It was just kind of straight shotgun, drop back, and let Geno, throw the ball. And so you had defensive linemen just licking their chops, just going, okay, that's what all defensive linemen want, right? Like, they're sitting there, they want a pass rush. They don't want to run stuff. I mean, they will. That's how you earn your pass rush as a defensive lineman. But they're back there, and they're excited to pass rush and get their sacks and get their stats. And I think you saw that a lot last year. You saw just being so predictable in the pass game that there was nothing keeping these defensive linemen, what's the word I'm looking for, accountable or disciplined. These defensive linemen don't have to be disciplined. They're just rushing. They're just going and in the quarterback. That's pretty much their only job. And I think for an offensive coordinator, it's just big to not allow that, to not be predictable. And last night, Kubiak was not predictable. And again, this is just the first preseason game, so there's a lot more to it. And I think there's probably a little cat and mouse game too, kind of stuff that Kubiak on film wants teams to have to prepare for, and so he's getting that out there as well. So he can throw some more wrinkles into it in the regular season and just keep building on it. So it was definitely a good start.
It's me. Oh, my bad. All right. All right, B. We talk a lot about the offense because we have like more questions about the offense, right? And with the defense, you're just reacting to whatever the offense is doing. Obviously, the Raiders are not going to have their full package in, but is there anything that stood out to you about this defense, whether it be schematically or a ball player or two?
I was kind of watching individual guys for the most part. I try not to watch the scheme very much, especially in preseason, because it's very vanilla usually. We did see him bring a couple blitzes off the edge and stuff that we've seen last year with Coach McDonald. But one thing I thought was fun to see is Imanwari as the nickel, covering kind of sitting in a zone, but just a way that he can get him in the game. And I think it'll be a fun year to kind of see how they interchange with whether it be Nick Imanwari in there in the slot or in the nickel, or Witherspoon in there based on certain matchups that they're given. And obviously Devin Witherspoon didn't play last night, which is great, fine with it. But seeing them get Nick Imanwari kind of up there in the nickel, guarding the slot receiver, whether he's just dropping into a zone or whatnot, it's good to get those reps, good to get that experience for him, because I think he's going to be used there a ton as that kind of that hybrid safety that can play really anywhere. So that was kind of cool to see. A couple big plays by the corners that are competing for playing time. Josh Jobe, he wants to be in there, and that was a big play for him. Good play on the ball, underthrown ball, was able to come back and get it. Nehemiah Pritchett just straight reads the quarterback's eyes, fools him, baits him into the throw, makes the interceptions and big turnovers. I think that's kind of what I'm looking at, those individual plays. And really stepped up yesterday.
Almost lost Bryan again, but it's okay. Perfect timing, because we're actually got to kick you out of here anyways. He's Seahawks radio analyst Bryan Walters. B. Walt, thanks so much for taking the time, man. We appreciate you.
Thanks, B.
You got it. Thanks for having me. See you guys.
Our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. See, Bryan's just different now. Even his phone is different.
Even his phone is different. His reception is different.
So that was today? He took a PJ?
No, it was yesterday. Before the game.
Wow.
Took a PJ out, played 18, shot a 67.
Wow.
Yeah, and then flew back and killed the pre-halftime and post.
He's acting real brand new. I'm going to call him brand new Bryan.
Brand new Bryan. I like that.
That's actually pretty cool. Let's get to 4-down territory.
This is 4-down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, though, it ended with an interception. What did you like about the Seahawks' first drive on offense?
So they had 9 plays, 57 yards, and within 9 plays, I saw at least 6 different formations. We spoke to Kubiak, Jake Bobo, oots, and I asked them all the same question. Like, you guys have so much in early. What does that mean? It just means that they're understanding exactly what's going on in this playbook. So for them to come out during a preseason game and throw out 6 different formations early means that they're ahead of the curve a little bit. You're going to be allowed to build off of that and do a lot more. I also saw 3 to 4 different personnel packages. So what that is like maybe 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends, Bobo in the slot, Derek Young outside. They're moving guys around. Every group has a name for that personnel package. And I saw at least 3 or 4. And that's encouraging because that means that there's going to be so much for them to build on after that. All right, this is just the base, the foundation, the first game of the preseason. And they threw some stuff out there as the game went along and then Milroe gets in. You kind of tone it down a little bit because you want to keep things simple and basic for those guys who are out there. But the fact that they came out there and just showed a lot pre-snap. Now, when you're running your actual plays, there's a lot of similarities with some stuff, and I get all that. But just lining up and all the stuff that I saw and having all the guys in different spots, I think is encouraging. It's a good first step.
Second down. What did you make of Jalen Milroe's day?
I thought he had a decent day. It wasn't amazing. I didn't walk away from the game thinking, that guy's going to be the guy next year or sometime this year. But you see what they're working with. We just talked to B. Walt, and he seconded. He is the best athlete on the football field. Had a 27-yard run, had a 7-8-yard run, had a couple good passes, had some bad ones as well. He looked like a rookie. I don't expect him to look sharp and great because he is working with the threes while you're in training camp. But he gave me enough to look forward to his next outing. And I think that's going to be important. I want to see exactly where he's grown a little bit. Is Kubiak going to open up the playbook a little bit more for him? Not much because you don't want to show too much of what you're going to do this year. But no, he gave me enough. And the way he read the end, they were backed up, I believe, on the south end zone. They were backed up, fakes the handoff, reads the end crashes, and he just takes off. And he made it look so smooth and effortless. And I think when a player is moving like that, he's not exerting a lot of energy and he's making it look so smooth and effortless. That's a clear sign that he's a great athlete. Body control is everything. He put a couple footballs on a frozen rope, drove it in there. Still got to work on some things. But for his first outing, I see what they see. This was good enough for me to look forward to the game next Friday against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Third down. Let's talk about another quarterback. How did Drew Lock help you prep for the game yesterday? That was nice of him.
Yeah, Drew Lock, he did. He said, look, man, this defense is going to – I asked him essentially, what makes it tough to play against this defense? He said they'll show pressure from one side, then they'll drop and pressure from the other side. They'll twist and all that stuff. They did some of it. Mike McDonald didn't go out there and just go kamikaze on them and go get after the quarterback. He did a little bit early, then kind of backed off at the same time. He showed enough. He showed a little bit to keep me intrigued once again. That's all I need. I was like fiending for some football. I'm scratching my neck like, give me football. Come on, I need to see it. And I want to see some creativity, and saw just a little bit of it. So, again, what I saw with the defense has me looking forward to what I think they can do the following weeks.
Are you going to be watching Shadur Sanders tonight for the Cleveland
Cannot
Browns?
wait. Cannot wait.
I already knew
Come
you'd
on.
say it. I already knew. I was like, this guy's going to be watching the next several preseason games. You got Lions, Falcons, Browns, Panthers, and then Commanders, Patriots, and they're all at the same time. Commanders, Patriots with kicking off a half hour later, but you're going to have 3 games up on 3 different devices. Preseason games of teams you don't cover.
Love it.
You have a sickness.
I'm here for it.
Fourth down. What player needed to make a big play and did?
Nehemiah. This guy is fighting to get on this roster, to stay on this roster right now. We know the DB room is really deep over there. And you need to make plays. And if you make plays on 11-on-11, that means you're going to get opportunities in special teams. When you're a defensive player, you just get more opportunities. So I love the way he played his interception. Big ups to Josh Jobe as well, who had an interception. His was a bit easier, but if he wasn't in position, he doesn't get that underthrown ball. I'm talking about Josh Jobe. He gets his interception. But with Nehemiah, it looked like he was in a deep zone, right? Quarters, thirds. He has to get deeper than the deepest. He's in position. And you can only take your eyes off of your guy when you're in position. He's in position, looks at the quarterback, sees the underneath route, breaks off of his responsibility, breaks on the football, makes a play. That's just a savvy football play. You got to be in position to even try to make that play. And then he tried to get money after that. And that means try to get some yards after the interception. I loved it for Nehemiah Pritchard, man. He's one of the guys who is fighting for his life on this to stay on this roster. When you make plays like that, you're looking good, you're feeling good, you're turning heads, and coaches give you more opportunities.
I have a couple of listener questions. I'm not saving these for what I need to know. I'm just going to throw them in now because we have a few extra minutes. Patrick in Tacoma said, I'm more concerned with defensive depth than I expected. Do you feel that way after this one? Or I should say at this point in the preseason. So it's not after one game. It's at this point in training camp. Do you feel more concerned than you expected about depth?
Well, I was looking at the linebacker spot, and I was concerned with that depth. I'm actually watching the All-22 in between our breaks right now, and I'm focusing on Patrick O'Connell and Drake Thomas as well, Tyreek Smith. And you're concerned because your twos are never going to look like your ones. So if Ernest were to go down and Tyrese were to go down, I wouldn't feel great about the linebacker spot. But O'Connell and Drake Thomas are doing just enough to keep things interesting, to make you feel like if they have to fill a void for a week or two, you should be fine. Linebacker spot is the spot where I'm looking at the depth concerns the most. Everywhere else, I'm okay with it, especially at the in the DB room.
Did you ask Bryan about wide receiver blocking? The 509 says, how do Bump and Bryan feel about wide receiver blocking on run plays? I didn't have enough time to ask Bryan, but we still have a wide receiver.
It's necessary. How did they do? I'm about 3 series in on the All-22, and so far, so good. With the formation that this offense runs, if you're not going to be a blocker, you can't be on the football field because it's so condensed, and guys are on you right now. It's not like you're split out wide most of the time, and your DB's 5 to 6 yards off, and the run is away from you, and you can just BS, get to the shoulder or whatnot. No, you got to be physical right now. For the guys that I saw out there, they're probably more inclined to be aggressive in their blocking because they're trying to make the squad. But I know Jason's going to do it, Cooper Kupp, MVS. But so far, so good. I mean, you got to be physical. You have no choice. If not, you're not going to be on the football field. Necessary.
How did it just look different compared to where they were last year with Grubb? I mean, you mentioned them being condensed and like you really have to make sure to block, like things like that where you're like, yeah, I'm noticing it looks like this compared to.
There's more layers and there's more flow as of now, right? Kubiak didn't call his best plays. I mean, for him, this was pretty basic, but there are more layers. The timing seems a bit better. And because you're condensed and then you expand the defense, it almost makes them declare what their responsibilities are fairly quickly, giving the quarterback a better idea where to go with the football.
Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight
Matt.
with Bump and Stacy.
I thought I'd get you with that one.
Nice try.
Nice try. How about you tell us about your little Mariner game?
Now, here's what's on tonight.
The Mariners start a 3-game series against the Rays tonight at T-Mobile Park. Pregame starts at 5:30 p.m. First pitch at 6:40 p.m. on Seattle Sports. Get your questions in for what I need to know. Coming up at 45 after 866-979-3776. Farm Report coming your way next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, like, if I could get an interception, man.
How many did you have in your career?
3.
How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands.
Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Rare and luxurious 100 years of exceptional automobiles is currently on display at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Feel the thrill of racing simulators. It's excitement for all, and out-of-town visitors will love it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. Chris and Ray came out to the house, and I could instantly tell we'd get along great, and I'd want to do business with them. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington and designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Look up Harley Exteriors for your window replacement. In August, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments for 1 year, and an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
It's back to school time again, and parents are pretty stressed out.
Can you blame us? The supply list, the sign-ups, the scheduling.
At least haircuts are easy at Great Clips.
It's true. With the Great Clips app, I checked him in before we left home, so we were in and out in no time.
I got a great haircut, and Mom got to check something off the to-do list. She really loves that.
Back to school can be a lot, but haircuts are easy at Great Clips. Download the app today.
Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Old windows cost you money and security. Lake Washington Windows and Doors installs energy-efficient, high-security windows that lower your bills and increase protection. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Choose LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yeah, the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
This is Steve Ahmed, president of Pacific Power Batteries. We know that customers like to buy from nice people, people who we generally like and trust. We don't consciously buy from a corporation, a jingle, or a logo. But it's the little things, like knowing about batteries, how they work, and why they don't work. Maybe it's just a smile from Noe, or Brandon, or Jennifer, or even Travis. Ha! At Pacific Power Batteries, we do our best to hire and train good people so you can trust them. So come on in and put us to the test.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's the Farm Report with Arkansas Travelers manager Ryan Scott joining us right now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Ryan, before you joined us, we were just talking about how hot it's going to be next week here in Seattle. And then our producer Curtis said, well, I wonder how hot it is for Ryan in Arkansas in early August. I have family from there, but I've never actually been. So what's summer like right now?
Yeah, summer it gets pretty hot. It gets up there, upper 80s into the 90s. We'll get some days in the mid to upper 90s, and it is humid. So you walk outside and you already start sweating just from walking around for a minute or two. So it gets pretty tough out there.
Yeah, I got family in Mississippi. I used to sweat taking out the trash, so I feel
Just
you.
waking up.
Just waking up. How does the weather affect some of the guys? I mean, you get players from across the world, across the country. Is that a thing? Or how do they handle that?
Yeah, it's definitely a change of pace for a lot of guys, especially guys that get called up from Everett. So they're up there in that Seattle area in the Pacific Northwest. So it's completely different kind of climate that they do have to worry about. And so especially a lot of the new guys that come up, and it was a big thing for us early in the year, is making sure that these guys are staying hydrated and kind of keeping their body ready to go every day. So it's definitely a change of pace, and you can see it kind of affect guys a little bit when they first get up and have to deal with some of that humidity and that heat that they really haven't had to deal with yet in their career. So can make a little bit of an impact, and the big messaging for guys is just to stay hydrated, make sure they're doing the right things, take care of their body.
Let's talk about a few of these guys. I know that ahead of the trade deadline, and for that matter, for months this year, Laz Montez became, I think, a fan favorite when it comes to prospects, people that they were desperately hoping wouldn't be moved. We would constantly see questions about him. And so we wanted to just ask for Laz, how's his power rank among guys you've seen come through Arkansas?
It's top notch. It's really hard to compare to that power, and it's one thing if he can just do it in BP, but seeing the power that he's shown in games and his ability to just hit the ball hard, like we have the ability in the minor leagues to have some of the TrackMan information in the dugout for the development purposes, and seeing some of those numbers come off at 111, 113, 116 miles an hour off the bat, it's pretty incredible. And you don't even have to see those numbers to just hear that sound off the bat. It's pretty incredible, and just the kid he is, and seeing the work he's put in to get his body into great shape and continue to work hard to make sure he's feeling good at this point in the season and still be able to produce these kinds of numbers. It's impressive for a young kid, and he's just a beauty to be around all day.
Hey, Coach, what's the communication like with you and the rest of the organization when you have prospects like Montez and other guys? Like, what's the how often is the communication, I should say, about their progress?
There's a good amount. They more or less let us do our thing. They trust us as coaches, so they're not really kind of micromanaging anything we're doing with these guys. They understand that everything we're doing in the day-to-day with all the rest of the players is going to be the same stuff we're going to do with these prospects too. And so there's not really a change of messaging with these guys. Yes, they might check in at times a little bit more about some guys if, let's say, they're going through a little rough stretch, just to kind of see where their head's at right now. And everyone understands some players are going to go through some struggles. So it's normally not a panic. It's just, hey, what are we doing? What are the conversations like right now? How are we kind of help these kids get through this tough time that maybe they haven't been through? So a lot of times that's the communication. And then when the guys are going good, it's just, hey, what's going well for them right now? Let's make sure we understand what they're thinking at these times when they are doing well. So then when they're maybe not doing as well at that point, we can try to lead them back onto that mentality they had when they were playing at their best.
Up here in Seattle, obviously, with Cal Raleigh, you got a switch hitting catcher, and that's been a huge topic of conversation this year. Have you ever coached an ambidextrous pitcher? It seems like it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a new one, and so it's a cool challenge to have, if you even want to call it a challenge. And Durangelo is just a phenomenal kid, so just excited to have him out here and to see him throw here.
What's the best part of what you do? I've coached, obviously not at your level, and at my level where I coach, you coach for the love of the game. They're not paying you much, and I've had experiences with the last 10 or 15 years, and I found a lot of joy just being around young people and helping them out. What's your favorite part about what you do?
Very similar to that. It's one, I love the game. It's been a part of my life for forever. So I've always loved the game, and I do it. I coach for the love of the game and to hopefully get kids better. And it's one thing I said when my career finished up is that I wasn't able to get myself to the big leagues. So one thing I want to do is help get as many kids as I can to the big leagues. And I've kind of made that my purpose and my goal for what I want to do, and just make everything about the players. And I think one thing I love about is, now that I'm not playing, I still get to be around the field every day. I get to be around the guys. I get to have that locker room setting where I just get to show up and enjoy like a baseball game every single day. There's really nothing to beat that. And so just going through the day-to-day of getting to help some young kids going through whatever stage in their career they are, especially now in AA, to where we have these 19, 20-year-old prospects, and then we also have some 27, 28-year-old kids that have that were minor league free agents that have been going through it a little bit longer, have been in the minor leagues for 6, 7, 8 years. So it's a cool challenge now this year in regards to that, to where you have really two ends of the spectrum, where you have kids in their first, second, third year in pro ball, and you have kids in their 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, maybe even 10th year of pro ball at this point. So it's a fun challenge going through every day, and every day is different, and it'll really keep you on your toes, but it's just a lot of fun.
Let's talk about the challenges for the players themselves. One thing that really interests me, Bryan, is maybe the challenges of each different level. In my mind, based on a outsider's perspective, I think, oh, well, God, AAA, you've got some rehabilitating major leaguers. Everyone there's a little older. Maybe that's a little tough. But I would imagine that each level brings its own unique challenges for a lot of these guys. Not only what can you tell us about AA, but what kind of obstacles typically might players you see at each of these levels?
Yeah, so especially at the lower levels, you get guys kind of in their first, second year in professional baseball, and so a lot of times they're just kind of trying to find their footing and really try to figure out who they are as a player and figure out what their identity is. And then as they go, they start to get a little bit more of an understanding of who they are as a player. What do they profile out to as a pitcher? Are they more a guy who's going to be a guy who needs to work maybe around the edges a little bit more with not as much velocity and use their stuff and continue to develop their pitches? Maybe it's a guy with more velocity. And so it's a lot of the lower levels. It's really trying to find those guys, like help guys find who they are as players and find their identity of who they're going to be throughout their career. And then as you get to the higher levels, most of those guys have that at least a little bit sorted out on who they are as a player, who they are as a pitcher. And so once you get to these levels, it's now, okay, what do we have to do to get you more consistent that's going to help you get to the next level? Because all these guys can do it. Hundreds and hundreds of guys that have played upon the minor leagues that don't get to the major leagues because they just don't have that consistency. They can't go out and do what they have the potential to do every single day. And so that's more the challenge once you get up to the top, is how are we going to get these guys to the next level? How are we going to figure out what the one thing is that's holding this guy back that might be not allowing him to go from AA to AAA or make that jump from AAA to the big league. So there's a little bit of that challenge to where it might be a little bit more skill development early on in guys' careers, and then it's a lot more mental and getting guys through a season and helping find that consistency day to day once you get up to the higher levels.
Hey, we've mentioned some of the more popular names, I guess. Is there a guy that you feel like is on the rise, moving in the right direction that we should know about?
There's a lot of players that we have that have come through that have done a phenomenal job this year. Just to highlight a few that might not be on top of some prospect lists, guys like Brock Rodden, switch hitting infielder for us right now, who missed some time this year, missed about 8 to 10 weeks with an oblique injury this year, but he's just been he's a phenomenal competitor. He's going to go out there and try to win every single night, and it's so much fun to watch him play. A guy like Bill Knight's having kind of a breakout year in terms of what he can do as a phenomenal defensive center fielder. Can cause some impact on the bases. He's been hitting a lot of balls hard, a lot of extra base hits. A guy like Jared Sundstrom, who's in his now second full professional season. A guy who can really hit the ball hard and damage the ball and put balls in gaps, hit doubles, and play a good outfield. So you could look all up and down, especially this Arkansas roster, just to keep it more specific. There's so many players on this team that could potentially have an impact on a major league ball club at some point. And so it's so much fun to watch these guys go out every day and to ultimately, with my staff, help these guys get through a season and hope to try to get them to the next level.
Last one for me, just quickly. Did you manage Cole Young in 2023?
Yes, I had Cole for just a little bit in 23.
So I know that obviously there's like some limited exposure there, but you knew him and obviously coached him up. What's it like to see him find success with Seattle this year?
It's so awesome. It comes as no surprise for just when you see Cole every day and you see that it looks like everything's under control for him. That's just how it's always looked. It's always looked like everything's happened in slow motion for him, and the game's never sped up. And so to see him come up and now have some success in the major leagues, it was really no surprise. Cole's a phenomenal kid and like ultimate competitor. So I was so fired up when he got the call this year, and it was cool. The organization let me know pretty early on, like before all the news and everything came out, to kind of just let us know and be like, hey, like appreciate all the work putting in with Cole ahead of time. So just such a phenomenal story with Cole, and so excited to see him doing well.
Do you think you knew before Cole?
No, I definitely did not know before Cole.
I was going to say, because that'd be pretty cool. Just I imagine what it's like for any of those managers in the back of your mind when you know someone's getting promoted, or like maybe there's something cool, right? Maybe you're giving one of your guys an award or some kind of recognition, and you're just thinking like, oh, they're going to be so excited.
I know. So many times with the promotions, we might know in the game, like 6th or 7th inning of that day, we get a text, or a trainer will get a text of, hey, this move's happening after the game. So we know when we're going to call them up, maybe an hour or two before, when we have to get through the game first. So those are always the cool ones. And like, I just want to let them know already, but just got to hold this one back for another hour or two until the game finishes up.
He is Travelers manager Ryan Scott, kind enough to join us. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks, guys.
What I need to know coming your way next. Get your questions in 866-979-3776.
Coming off a sweep of the White Sox.
A walk-off base hit for Dom Canzone.
And winners of 6 of their last 7 games. The Mariners can smell first place.
Ooh, that smell.
This was a phenomenal homestand.
Yeah, I think that's confidence building.
The push to the playoffs continues tonight at T-Mobile Park. Mariners, Rays. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey friends, Stacy here to tell you that Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn is celebrating its 103rd year anniversary, and their biggest sales event of the year is going on right now. Take advantage of great pricing on new Fords, Isuzus, and commercial vehicles, plus huge discounts on their service and parts departments. What about those of you who want to sell a car? Good news. Wayscar Ford's vehicle profit sharing plan is the best deal out there, period. They purchase your car and pay up front. Then when they resell your old car, they share 50% of that profit with you. They've already paid back over $800,000 to customers. At Wayscar Ford, there are absolutely no games, no gimmicks, and no pressure. That's backed up by a full 5-day or 500-mile no questions asked return policy on absolutely every car they sell. Change your mind for any reason, bring the vehicle back for a full 100% refund. So if you're like me, you want that good price, a no-pressure sales experience, and a full 5-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Wayscar Ford in Auburn is the place to go. Check them out for yourself at wayscarford.com.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Summer is here, and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors, expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy-efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates, and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate. The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yeah, the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
History, it had the gold rush. Then came the oil boom, the tech boom, but right now it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Xfinity has everything you need to tap into the Wi-Fi boom with seriously powerful and seriously reliable connection. It's got 99.99% network reliability and incredibly low lag, so your streams are smoother than making a decision on what to stream. And did I mention that you can even connect to hundreds of devices so you, your kids, your parents, your poker group, and whoever else is at home can all experience the Wi-Fi boom with Xfinity. And the Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed, all in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract, all with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data, except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. What I Need to Know. Thumbs up or thumbs down for Happy Gilmore 2.
Thumbs up. But I went in with the proper expectation. You never go into those movies thinking that it's going to be better than the first one, because you will be disappointed. It was good enough. I liked how they had current golfers in the movie. Rory was in there, Scotty, Brooks Koepka, Ricky Fowler. There were a bunch of guys. 74 cameos, I think, is what I saw. So, no, it was good enough.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be great, though.
What I need to know, now that we're half a decade removed, what are some quarantine stories you'd remember that would, in hindsight, be entertaining to hear or maybe weird to hear?
No stories, but the amount of times I washed my hands in a day was not healthy.
Oh, I would get sanitizing spray, like Lysol, and I would spray down all my groceries.
Really?
Yeah. Because I thought, I don't know, it's like, well, you can't see it.
It was just dumb, like walk into the restaurant with a mask on, but take it off when you sit down to eat. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Some of the...
There were ones around our building, too, where
Yeah.
you and I used to sit next to each other, Stacy, and there was like a plexiglass thing in between us. But then if we just like scooted back like 3 feet, the plexiglass was not there.
Yeah. Little things like that are probably what stand out to me, is like, we didn't quite know as a society, like, so how do we do this? This works, right? When's the last time you had milk as a beverage?
Couldn't tell you.
In a latte? I don't remember the last time I had a glass of milk. I was a child.
Yeah, it was probably dunking cookies in it.
Yeah, it's been. What would you do if you were with a friend? Let's say you go to the bar for to watch a game with a friend, and he orders a large glass of milk. And it's not because he's getting spicy
bar?
wings. I'm just saying he orders. He's like, yeah, can I get a glass of 2%?
I'd share my location with someone immediately. Like, this guy's crazy.
Matt?
At
Curtis?
a bar?
At a bar.
I would call
Just
him out and
pretend,
be like,
or
dude.
pretend that you're just meeting a friend for lunch somewhere, maybe at a restaurant or whatever it is. You're meeting a friend. It's just in an unexpected place, and then they just order a glass of milk. It's just a glass of milk.
Here's the thing about my friend group. We will roast you to tears if you were to do something like that. You'd be done. You'd not want to be our friend anymore. It would go on, and then every time we see you, we'd reference you drinking milk at a bar.
I'm going to say something, and I'm pretty sure they're not a listener, so I think I'm safe to do this.
Okay.
But my friend's fiance, the first time like our friend group all got together to meet him, ordered a glass of milk at brunch.
What?
And it's the only thing we've ever talked about him since.
Exactly.
Because
like
psycho behavior.
What?
That's crazy.
A glass of milk and at brunch, not even like, oh, we're eating wings and I got to have this to cut some of the spice.
Rest of us were having mimosas.
A glass of milk.
It's still like the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me at a restaurant.
Yeah, it's giving like a Hannibal Lecter kind of vibe. I don't trust it at all.
Neither did we.
Hey, the first person to try milk was crazy, though. They were wild. They was tripping.
866-979-3776. What I need to know. Could you get a save in baseball? Oh, they just want to know, can you get a save in baseball without throwing a single pitch?
I believe so. Yeah, if you pick somebody off, that's not a pitch.
So just each time.
You come in with 2 outs.
So you walk. Oh, yeah. I was going to say maybe you walk.
pick the runner off, yeah.
Someone said, my best buddy drinks a glass every night. Is your best buddy a puppy?
Yeah, are they a small child?
My wife and I are camping this weekend. When's the last time you went camping?
I
keep telling you guys, I don't go
glamp
outside.
these days. I don't camp, I glamp.
I've never,
I'll get a cabin that's in the woods near a lake.
not a day in my life, and I don't plan to change that.
It was fun when I was younger. Go out with some buddies and act stupid.
Let's see. What I need to know. At what point do we start guessing how many games to clinch the playoffs? I think it's going to be
Not
late.
until September, like the final week of the season, buddy.
Right.
What's the best dessert?
It's got to be like ice cream, right? It's the most versatile.
The tough thing is there are a couple correct answers to this.
Bad food take incoming.
No,
Brace
that's
yourself.
not true. These are all good food takes.
Right.
I think that like a brownie with ice cream is a very underrated dessert, same as like a cookie with ice cream. Creme brulee is an incredible dessert. And
Who
I don't
just
think you
has
guys
that
are
readily available?
But that's what I'm saying.
No
That's what
one
I'm saying, that creme
makes
brulee
that.
is like not super accessible. It's not common. It's not something you can just make yourself, but it's amazing.
Bump is a diva for wearing sunglasses into work, and you're not a diva for saying creme brulee.
Let me go get my Browning torch.
I'm sorry, but creme brulee is like, I mean,
Creme brulee, even the way you say it. Creme brulee.
creme brulee. You gotta have vocal fry when you say it, or else it's not the same. It's French, so you see, ha ha ha. I'm sorry, but that's my answer. Creme brulee would be like a top 3. Ice cream would be number 1.
Apple pie, vanilla ice cream. Boom. I'm good.
I mean, sure. It's kind of a simple approach. And
I mean, you don't need to reinvent the wheel here with dessert.
I just, for a really smart offensive mind, I think I just
If
would have
somebody's
expected
putting
something
creme
a little more
brulee or
complicated.
apple pie a la mode in front of me, I'm taking the apple pie. Like,
yeah,
10 times out of 10.
So if someone's like, this is the best creme brulee you're ever going to have in your entire life, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, still taking
You're going to be able to hear the crack of the sugar crust from a mile away.
Yeah, I don't care. Give me the apple pie.
Creme brulee is really, really good. Brownies and vanilla ice cream is the best, is the 253. It is.
No,
Okay.
I don't.
I don't like apple pie.
I'm
That's
glad
the
it's
problem.
Friday. I don't have to deal with this nonsense anymore.
Wow! That's crazy. That's crazy. Bump, why don't you? I'm done. We're already done. We're done now. Go to commercial. I'm leaving.
Coming off a sweep of the White Sox.
A walk-off base hit for Dom Canzone.
And winners of 6 of their last 7 games. The Mariners can smell first place.
This was a phenomenal homestand.
Yeah, I think that's confidence building.
The push to the playoffs continues tonight at T-Mobile Park. Mariners Rays. First pitch at 6:40 on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Contractors and heavy equipment operators, get ready. The James D. Murphy Auction Company presents one of the biggest heavy equipment auctions of the summer. On the auction block, we've got 13 excavators, including a 2018 Komatsu PC-238 USLC-11, a 2015 Komatsu PC-138, and a CAT 308 mini excavator. Also up for auction, a 2020 Komatsu WA-270-8 wheel loader, a 2017 John Deere 317G skid steer, 2 backhoes, and 3 rollers. Looking for trucks? Choose from over 100 options, including a 2017 Kenworth T880 with a wet kit and 4 Vector trucks. And if you're in need of contractor's equipment, we've got a massive assortment for you to choose from. Bidding is underway now and starts closing at 10 a.m. August 14th. And don't miss your chance to preview all items August 12th through the 13th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our Marysville location. For more information, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
With Progressive customer service, there are lots of ways to connect with us, so you never have to miss a second of your favorite sport. Because you'd much rather watch a ball go through a net 124 times in 48 minutes when you don't really have to pay attention until the last 2, and then somehow those 2 minutes will take an hour. You don't want to miss all of that. Luckily, you can chat with Progressive on our app, online, or over the phone without missing a single one of those times the ball goes through the metal circle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.